Like I said, coming down to the business end, so a lot to play for here for all of these teams.
A lot to play for indeed. The Space City Cowboys are the class of Group B. 3 wins, no losses. Surprisingly, the team that I thought personally would not have lost a single game lost yesterday in my absence. Clarion Eagles are second in the division. Space City Cowboys at the top. St. Louis Americans third, 1 win, 2 losses. This opening pair, Namin Anwar and Eric Anantha, both very aggressive. Expect to see some fireworks early.
Pulled away. First ball starts with a short delivery. Didn't quite get the bounce that Muhammad Ilyas would be hoping for off the surface. But that's going to be a boundary to open up the account.
Aggression. You expect aggression from both of these opening batters. Ari Kananta, a young man from right here in Houston or in the Houston area. And Naman Anwar, his resume speaks for himself. Very experienced. You've seen him play in the major leagues as well as the minor leagues. And I think you're exactly right. That short ball not really generating the bounce that Muhammad Ilyas wanted to. 4 runs to start.
And this is going to be expensive. Wide, I'm going to run away for 4 runs as well. 5 wides, just missing his mark a little bit here, Muhammad Ilyas.
Yeah, obviously the line was just wrong this time. Muhammad Ilyas loves to come in and bang it in short. It's very aggressive, fast bowler. But that does you no good if the ball is sprayed down the leg side. Joshua Trump behind the stumps is very athletic, but not even he could get to that. In fact, after it pitched, not only was it on the wrong line, but then it seemed further down the leg side. Really no chance for that one off for Joshua Trump. And 9 runs already on the board with just 1 legal delivery ball. Not the start that the St. Louis Americans would want.
Back of a length, threading the gap, won't get to the boundary, but this is really well played. Attacking these power play overs, 6 overs, fielding restrictions with just the 2 fielders outside the center circle. These overcast conditions, Brian, are just looking a bit ominous, aren't they? A bit of drizzle out there as well when I was walking a couple of laps before I came in.
Little bit of a drizzle. It may be overcast for the entirety of the day. The majority of heavy weather that is moving in is supposed to be tomorrow night, which is why you alluded to it. As another one is down the leg side. You alluded to the fact that the finals, semis and finals will both be tomorrow. That change was made because of the fact that we're expecting a relatively cold front to come in through Texas. Should be passing through this part of Texas late Saturday night. Expect a lot of rain and temperatures about 20 degrees cooler than they are right now. So for us and for the organizers of the tournament, the best thing to do was to just compress the finals and the semis into the same day.
Better delivery. Just needs a bit more consistency here, Muhammad Ilyas.
Just look at that line that he just bowled right on that 4th stump line, short of length. That's exactly what you expect from your opening bowler. That is the line and the length. And you want it to be relatively full. Don't want it to be too short, even though you do have protection on the deep on the leg side at square leg. But you'd prefer to have the batter playing on the front foot, going down the ground.
In the gap, it's got some speed on it as well. And it is going to beat the fielder. Valiant effort in the deep. Just had a bit too much pace on that delivery, and that's going to roll away for yet another boundary.
Yeah, so as I just said, you don't want to be too short, and you certainly don't want to be too short and wide with no sweeper on the offside. Look at this again. That is about a 5th stump line, and it is entirely too short. Easy for Naman Anwar to get up on top of his toes and crack that away through the offside. Valiant effort indeed by Arnav Jam, but not quite able to pull it back in time. So very expensive over this to start by Muhammad Ilyas. 16 already on the board, still 2 to come, and not the type of start that you want with the ball by your champion fast bowler.
Just seeing Mohamed Ilyas after that delivery, asking the skipper why the field is placed where it is. Pulled away one-handed. There is a fielder in the deep. He wanted the fielder on the offside to be a little bit further over, but when you look at that delivery, that's short, wide, it's a nothing delivery. You gotta love pace bowlers. Sometimes there's just no pleasing them.
Pace bowlers, I think, sometimes get a bad rap. But Mohamed Ilyas himself is a senior player, a senior bowler. So he has the, let's call it the resume to be able to say to his captain, here's the feel I want. I want that man moved square or wherever he wants him. But, as you said a couple days ago, there's no setting a field for poor bowling.
Slower delivery, change of pace, and a dot to end the first over. 17 runs coming off of it. 17 for none. I'm talking about pace bowlers, and you think they get a bad rep, which I guess I could agree with that here and there. It just takes me back to the recent Ashes where you had a big altercation on the field. Ben Stokes, very heated argument with Jofra Archer. Jofra Archer saying that is not the field that I want. Ben Stokes says, well, maybe if you bowled better. Just not much going right for England in the Ashes, though.
I think the less said about the Ashes, if you're an England fan, the better. They came into that series highly confident. A couple of their pundits and former players were predicting 5-love. You can believe it. Didn't quite go the way they were looking to have it go.
You've got to believe.
Oh my goodness. That's not something I'd say out loud though. Just
you know, sometimes that's all you can do. Believe.
Oh goodness. It'll be Adia Naidu to take up the bowling from the highway end, the highway 290 end, the highway that yours truly took to get here this morning. Adia Naidu is in a bit of a tricky position here because he's going to be bowling on the back of an over that went for 17. So his job is to pull things back, but that will not be easy against Norman Anwar.
Ooh. Very, very nearly walking back on that one. Just falls short of the fielder.
Almost finding immediate success. A bit of nothing shot from Norman Anwar. Almost chipping it directly into the hands of Yuvan Vinod. Look at this. Just chipping it. A landing probably a foot short. That would have been a very soft dismissal. Norman Anwar, I would imagine that the next shot that you play or that you see from him will be a little bit more aggressive than that.
Slight shimmy down the ground. Not where he intended to hit that whatsoever, but he will pick up another boundary.
Well, the aggression is what I was looking for from him, Norman Anwar. That's more what you expect from him. Slashing at this nowhere near the middle, as you mentioned. He was looking to play that more square, but it went flying over the top of the slip cordon. I say cordon, there's just one feeler in the slips, but deep third was entirely too wide to get anywhere near that. So a fast start continuing here for Norman Anwar and the Space City Cowboys.
You said there's a cold front coming in. Pulled away. In total control on that one. Might have been streaky the ball before, but this is right out of the screws and it's going to sail away for 4 more.
Yeah, this is more what you expect from Norman Anwar. Anytime you can pull a short delivery and have it go that far in front of square, that goes to mid-wicket. And that tells you that he is timing it well. He is easily onto the length and not enough pace in that delivery to bowl that length for me, at least not to Norman Anwar. And Adi Naidu is a good young bowler, but I don't think you're going to get much success bouncing at Naman Anwar.
Placement. How exquisite is this shot? It's placed to absolute perfection. Didn't hit it, just guided it, opening the face of the bat right in the gap, as this is 3 fours in a row now.
Well, if the one before was power, this is all placement. This is just luscious. Leaning on it, just opening the face a little bit to get it in the gap between backward point and cover, and races across the turf for 4. Expensive start indeed. Is already continuing here for the St. Louis Americans.
Just a few technical difficulties. Should we get them ironed out soon enough? I was just saying, you mentioned a cold front. I'm just checking the weather, and I didn't realize it got down to 11 degrees Celsius in Texas.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you're the desert. You're supposed to be
down
hot.
to 11 degrees Fahrenheit. First of all, there's no desert anywhere near here.
Celsius.
I'm just saying it gets down to 11 degrees Fahrenheit here. Wow. Ho, 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 ho. Up and over for the first 6 of the match. The first over.
We'll just have to get that one corrected because it was 6 that was signaled by the umpire. 2 overs gone. It should be 35 for none.
Well, we wait for that to happen. As I started saying to you, not only does it get to 11 degrees Celsius here, it does get to 11 degrees Fahrenheit. We, in this part of the state, 5 years ago, had a cold front where the temperature stayed below freezing for the better part of a week, and we had 12 inches of snow, and that shut us down entirely for that entire week.
Did you find that a bit comical?
It's actually nothing comical about it. People died because we don't have that kind of infrastructure. So when the electricity grid goes and it is 25 degrees or 20 degrees Fahrenheit, people die. So it is a very, very serious situation. You don't want me to get into it.
How often does that happen?
There will be 2 to 3 weeks of the typical winter, somewhere between January and February, where it gets frigid, absolutely frigid.
And it happens every year for that long?
Correct.
So why is there no infrastructure for it?
You and I are about to start a conversation that will be way beyond the scope of what we're supposed to be doing here and is exceptionally controversial here in Texas, and we'll leave it at that. Up and over, here's a look at that 6 again. Oh, in fact, it landed just short, it looks like. But umpire Maron James had previously signaled 6, so I want to see whether or not, well, we'll need to get a clarification on that. In fact, they did make the change. So it is signaled as a 6, 35 without loss, 1 delivery into over number 3.
Squeezed into the offside.
So a relatively quick start here again. The first 2 overs yielding 35 runs. Some of that is loose bowling. The rest of it is exquisite batting, but all in all, a really fast start here for the team with most of its players from right here in the Houston area, either originally or this is where they make their home now.
Waits on this. And this is played really, really well. Driven for 4 runs. Arya Kanantha getting into the action now.
Arya Kanantha staying leg side to make sure that he has the opportunity to open up that offside. Not really getting that front foot toward the line, but the length is such that it's right in the slot and he drills it. Really proper looking shot. On a different day, he'll probably want that front foot to come across to the line of the ball a little bit more, but nothing at all wrong with the timing. 4 all the way along the ground.
Up and over. maximizing these power play overs, knowing that there's no one in the deep on the offside, and it's back-to-back fours for Arya Kanantha.
You have already had in the first, goodness, 2 overs and 4 balls, 7 boundaries and a 6. So that is a flying start. The Space City Cowboys are a very aggressive batting side, no more aggressive than the 2 at the top of the order, and they are taking absolute full toll of these power play overs here.
Goes for the short delivery again, Muhammad Ilyas. This time it's pulled away. Make that 3 boundaries in a row. He has really struggled today, Muhammad Ilyas. 29 runs in his 1.5 overs.
This, to me, is more about ego than anything else, because Muhammad Ilyas is thinking, I'm an experienced fast bowler. Arya Kanantha is all of probably 21 years old. I'm going to try to intimidate him. But Arya Kanantha was ready for that short ball, picked up the length very, very easily, very quickly, and absolutely hammering it to mid-wicket. So the second consecutive over where there have been 3 fours in a row struck. The carnage continues.
Good change-up. Takes the pace right off that delivery, and well watched by Arya Kanantha. It's a dot to end the 3rd over, 47 for none. Was it a dot or a single? Should say 47 for none. That was definitely a dot ball off the last delivery. 3 overs to go in the power play. It has been a costly one so far. It's still early days. We're just 3 overs into the contest. A lot can change by the time we get to that 20th over.
Well, if after 3 overs you're going at 15s or 16s, that tells you that you as a bowling unit have some work to do. And there is no question that all of the bowlers have been expensive. Muhammad Ilyas's 2 overs have cost 29 runs, and the 1 over bowled by Adya Naidu has cost 18. So just really, really expensive stuff. And so change being made here. Yuvan Vinod will be coming into the attack. He'll be looking to see whether or not he can pull back this really fast start.
Late appeal. Almost like an afterthought, and then the pleading to the umpire. I've got to be very honest, I've been a little disappointed with some of the behavior towards the umpires. We've got to learn to respect the laws and the spirit of the game that we play in. That I like, just go and laugh it off, but shouldn't happen in the first place. Especially when you see your young ones doing it. You've got to set those standards very early.
I'm a stickler for exactly what you just said. I won't call any names specifically, but I saw an incident while I was watching from home yesterday that greatly concerned me. And I would like to think that whether it's one of the juniors, and this is hammered away for 4. Oh my goodness. What a shot. Oh, in fact, it went all the way for 6. That is the ultimate tracer bullet type of shot, because he got no elevation on it. It was all power. In full disclosure, that ball went where I can't see it from my seated position here. But look how flat that shot is. Goes all the way over mid-wicket. And umpire Myron James signaling that it, in fact, did go over the ropes at deep mid-wicket. So this, again, continuing with a really, really fast start. 50 is up with that shot, by the way. Naman Anwar off to the races, 35 from 13.
Does it have enough? Oh, not quite. This is good work in the deep. Just want a second look as to whether that ball was pulled back on time.
Just to close the button on that comment, whether senior players or junior players, you do not want to see anything resembling dissent. You do not want to see anything resembling remonstrations as far as the umpire's decisions are concerned. And you're there to obey the decision whether or not you agree with it.
Slashed away. Offside. 4 more.
Oh my goodness.
They're in some form here, the two openers out in the middle, and Naman Anwar has now raced to 41 off just 15 deliveries. They've just bowled to his strength, haven't they? Too much width on offer, too short.
Naman Anwar has several strengths, but any batter who is opening the innings in any sort of cricket match will want to see that type of delivery, just wide and short, essentially a nothing delivery, and put away like you'd expect.
Soft hands for single. And need quite a few more of those. At this point, dot balls are like gold if they can try and find them.
If they can find them, oh my goodness. It's certainly not the case that they've done very well. Every single over so far has gone for double-digit runs. Naman Anwar himself, 42 from 16. Arakanantha, no less aggressive, 12 from 7.
Short, wide, again. And this has gone all the way over the rope for 6. 4 overs gone, 66 for none. And I have a lot of questions as to what the plan is this morning for the bowlers.
Look at this delivery. Very short, very wide. It's less about a plan because none of this is evidence of any sort of plan. This essentially is all the bowlers not being able to control their lines and lengths. If, like, for example, you're over pitching and they're being driven down the ground, maybe you're thinking, okay, the plan is to get them to play straight or play forward, but maybe that plan's not working. Let's switch to something else. This is just spraying the ball all over the shop. And you don't need a Naman Anwar or an Arakanantha to cash in on these types of deliveries. Looking to see whether or not they get a different result here, going to now a different bowler, because so far unbalanced, they've really sprayed it all over the shop, and they do have a lot of work to make up.
I mean, you're talking about control, but they're very actively trying to bowl the short ball here. And what perplexes me even more is it's a new ball. It's the beginning of the game. You've got windy conditions, and you have not once allowed for that ball to swing. Everything is too short. Nothing actually full enough to allow for that ball to do a little bit through the air.
There have been 9 4s and 3 6s struck. Of those 12 balls that went the distance, I would imagine that 9 of them were too short. And yes, hit down the ground for 6, that's one thing, but you just cannot be short enough to be played all around the wickets.
Should be out, is out. Not the best of deliveries again, but he is going to pick up a wicket off of this.
Well, sometimes, as you said, not the best of deliveries. The plan for me is going to have to be to bowl fuller. This is not exactly a full delivery, but Naman Anwar essentially just top edges it. And he will be disappointed, Naman Anwar, that he did not get more out of this. Look at this replay. Short and wide yet again. Maybe on another day, Naman Anwar probably goes a little bit more toward the line of the ball. But a pretty simple catch taken by Arnav Jam. I don't think in any way that justifies the decision to continue bowling short. Yes, you've gotten rid of the danger man, Naman Anwar, but it does mean that you've broken the opening partnership. New man now coming in, Yandev Chauhan. But to me, you have to bowl fuller and just a touch straighter because everything is too short and wide.
Oh, gosh, he's lucky to pick up a wicket off that delivery. That was another hit me ball.
It actually was.
Naman Anwar will be very disappointed with himself. If he takes a look at that replay, he will question how he didn't middle that.
I mean, it's the exact delivery that he cut away behind point for 4 in the previous over. Short and wide.
Well, breakthrough needed and breakthrough gotten. 66 for 1. Still almost 2 full overs to come in this power play. And we know Ian Dave Chauhan can also hit a long ball. Aggressive batter, played a lot of his cricket in India. Recently started coaching as well. Got the experience, got the capability. And they'll need to pick up a few more wickets here to try and pull this back to their side, the St. Louis Americans.
They certainly have a lot of work to do. Going at the rate of 15.84 runs and over. A lot of work to make up.
That's a no ball. Gets a bit of seam movement on this off the surface. I like this line though. Nice and close to the body. It's going to be a free hit.
Umpire Ravikanani with the signal there. Don't know if we can get a replay on that overstep, which is what I believe it was, but the type of delivery that was is much more appropriate for what you're looking for. A touch fuller than the other deliveries so far in this match, and then certainly straighter. Here's a free hit.
Swinging away from the right-hander, overpitched, and lucky to get away with this one, as it should have gone for 4.
I want Coach Manala Patel's reaction to Yandev Chauhan playing that shot and standing in his crease and watching it for a single.
In all honesty, when it left the bat, I also thought it might go for 4.
Well, the ball has been landing and sticking in the ground. You know, it's been a little bit wet and rainy around here. So at least, you know, give yourself a chance to get that second run.
Really well bowled. Coming sharply into Arya Kananta. This is the right line. Naidu just starting to pitch the ball in the right areas. We're also seeing a bit of that shape that we're talking about because he's a smidge fuller. That's a short ball. And that's going to be a couple of runs. Men's.
If you don't want to wear it, don't wear it.
I'll make it work. Yeah, I'll take the bag. I'll take the bag. I'll take the bag. Mangesh? Bag. Thanks. Score is all over the place. I just need to get that scoreboard straightened out because there was a no ball. So it should actually be 69 for 1. That's a bit of a harsh call. I don't know. I might have to get another look at that. I thought it was just inside that line. Wide signaled nonetheless.
We'll be able to get another look at that. He's been staying outside the line of off stump. You prefer to be too wide than too straight, but you also don't want to induce the type of shot that will fly over the top of slips with a top edge. Let's pay attention to the way this over develops here.
Shaping in, but this is exquisitely played. What a pickup shot this is for 6.
extra balls will always hurt you. And we are now in the position where with 76 on the board, that upper or that drive over the top that goes all the way for 6, a really good looking shot from the end of the Chahan. Look at the replay again. Actually, let's take a look at that. Actually, Arcananta is, anyway, it's a really good looking shot. Arcananta now racing on to 24 from 10.
You were muted.
24 from 10. The scoreboard is going to catch up with the action, and I believe that the actual score is 75 for 1. But the bigger picture is that this is just extremely, extremely expensive stuff from the Pacers, so now they've turned to spin. Young man Ryan Taj, left arm orthodox, bowling from the end that would induce the batters to hit into the wind coming from the southeast. The wind, as you look at your screen right now, coming in from the bottom right of your screen. So he's going to want to incentivize Yandev Chauhan to hit in that direction. So I'm expecting fuller and on the stumps.
The other thing to note here is that we are playing on a different surface than the one used the first few days of the tournament. And turn, grip and turn very early. Ryan Taj, wicket looking a little dry out there. Should be good conditions for spinners. I like this, taking pace off the ball. Finger does go up. Faintest of edges. Confidence all through and through for Joshua Trump and Ryan Taj as the finger eventually goes up. And Dave Chauhan just wanted to see if he might have some luck going his way, and the umpire might have just said not out. But that is going to be the end of his innings. It's 2 wickets down, 2 massive wickets down.
Too close to cut. That is not a ball. That is actually on a 4th stump line from around the wicket for the left-hander. The ball is slanting into you. That's just entirely too close to play a cross-batted shot. If the line is outside the line of off stump, more outside the line of off stump, then maybe you play that shot. But this one for me is just too close to him to play that cut shot. So very fast start. A lot of work to do for the St. Louis Americans, but you've picked up 2 wickets. Opening batter Naminan Wara dismissed, and now Yandev Chauhan is going to have to make his way back to the pavilion, being replaced by Ramiz Raja. So it doesn't get any easier. Ramiz Raja with the left arm of Ryan Taj. I'm looking for Ramiz Raja to be playing in the air over extra cover, playing with the turn, going in that direction. He's a very expert exponent of that shot, going over extra cover. So playing with the turn, with the left-hander bowling, that's what I would expect to see from him.
I'm assuming that's not the same Ramiz Raja that does the commentary.
Yeah, no. He just came back from the PSL, just caught a plane last night, and is now batting number 4 for the Space City Cowboys.
If that's the case, we should wire him up.
Just commentary and play at the same time.
Talk us through the action out in the middle.
Yeah, it's a different guy.
Worked into the leg side and off the mark with a single. So saying this is good because taking the pace off the ball just allows for the batters to then have to force a shot, have to create that power off the bat. And positive signs for spinners that there is grip and turn on the surface.
Well, there's a lesson here. Sometimes the Pacers are being banged all around the park. Take the pace off. In fact, after the first 2 overs went for 35, I was expecting for them to go to Ryan Taj much earlier in the piece.
Turning out to be a very tidy over. He's got one more delivery, and he'll want to finish strong here. He's bowling to the new batter who's just walked out. Watchfully played, and should just be the single. 6 overs gone. It's 78 for 2.
Power play done and dusted. 78 runs on the board, but remember they started out with 35 coming from the first 2 and we're racing along. So the last couple of overs, if not all frugal, at least have been better from the standpoint of restricting runs. And then that last over from Ryan Taj, expertly done. Just 3 runs conceded and the wicket of Yan Dev Chahan. So out of the power play, obviously you can expect more of a defensive field. That's what you have here. So go back here to Yuvan Vinod. So as you stand here, Monali Patel, first several overs, fair to say that the Space City Cowboys have had the better of the exchanges so far, despite the loss of the 2 wickets. So my question to you, as this is played down the ground for a single, is how do you capture the little bit of momentum that you've generated so far in the last 2 overs, St. Louis Americans, and restrict the Space City Cowboys to somewhere around 140, because they're projected to be much higher than that right now? Appeal. Everybody wants the decision, and everybody is disappointed in the fact that Ravi Kakani's hand stays at his side. Very confident shout. Yuvan Vinod with his hands on his hips. Joshua Trump was absolutely convinced, and all the fielders who were close were appealing in such a way that they really did think it was out. But the one whose opinion matters, and the only one whose opinion matters, believes that this is not out. See if you can pick anything up here. One of the things that umpires will look for is whether or not the batter turns around and looks to see if the keeper collected it. And that might have saved Eric Ananta there, because his head stayed forward. Now driven down the ground, they'll get a single. So a bit of a fight back with the ball.
Should have told me about that trick earlier when I was still playing. Not to look back.
One of the things that an umpire immediately looks for is the batter turning to look to see if the keeper collects it.
You mean I can't just show my bat?
Nope.
Just lift my arms, you know? That was absolutely no
Hammered
bat on
away
that.
for 4 through extra cover. Tell you what, that's a good looking shot from Ramiz Raja. That's his first boundary. Actually wasn't very far away from the man fielding in the covers. That was just to his right. Not able to get anything on it, but it races across the turf for another boundary.
It's a no ball as well. It's going to be a free hit. But yeah, absolutely exquisite shot right along the carpet as it races away for 4.
Oh,
And another no.
down the ground, goes for 6, and yet another no ball. So now, big trouble here. They got some momentum the last couple of overs, but they're losing it here in this over. So consecutive no balls, consecutive free hits, 6 on the board, another 4 or 4 before that, and yet another free hit coming up.
Bleeding in runs here. They won the toss. St. Louis Americans chose to have a ball first, and the plan just hasn't gone well for them with the ball, partly because there's no consistency. They've bowled in the wrong areas and they've overstepped. It's gonna be another no ball and another free hit. I want to see if we can try and get a look at this back foot. Where is this landing? What started as such a good over, first 4 deliveries, is now turning out to be a lengthy, painful over for Yuvan Vinod.
Love to see on that replay, where is the foot coming down? And boy, it's going to be very close. Obviously, the cameras are straight down the ground. See if we can pick this up here. Yeah, something has to be behind the line. We don't have the best angle to be able to tell, but it does not at least look apparent that there is something landing behind that line. So now the bowler can easily take the suspense out of it by pulling his run up back about a foot. Hammered away, expensive over. 6, make that 4, past the fielder and wide of the fielder in the deep extra cover. And that 100 coming up with that shot. In fact, my apologies. 97 for 2. 3 more for the 100. But what an expensive over this one is. Look at this.
Just becomes so easy as a batter, doesn't it? When you know it's a free hit, all you have to do is manage some bat on that. Throws his arms out this beautifully, Ramiz Raja, as it goes for 4.
Very, very expensive. And look at this. As easy as you like, it is struck straight into the covers. Sujit Nayak controlling a pretty straightforward chance, and a really shocker of an over comes to an end. It ends with the wicket of Arakanantha. So, my goodness, a very expensive over, but it ends with that wicket. The score now 97 for 3.
Such an expensive over, and it's resulted in a wicket. Went for 1 too many. A checked drive in the end and straight to the fielder. What a start this has been this morning. We've seen plenty of action off the bat and with the ball.
Well, this is a very, very expensive over. No question. And yes, you conceded multiple overs here where there have been double-digit scoring. And just be patient with us, by the way, while the graphics at the bottom of your screen get caught up. But the man making his way to the middle here is Calvin Savage. Calvin Savage is a big hitting all-rounder, pace bowler, very tall, can hit the ball a mile, and things are not going to get any easier at all here. Ryan Taj really has been the only bowler who has put his hand up and said, let's keep or restrict the runs to less than a run a ball. He's done that with his 1 over, 3 runs conceded, and took a wicket. So this is what he's going to want to replicate here, as Ramiz Raja will be facing up to him. For a leg before wicket, always going down, I believe. So starting out with the leg by here to start over number 8.
Pretty ambitious shout, isn't it, from the youngster? Ryan Touch, well and truly down leg. Tall man, Calvin Savage, long levers. And with a start like this, Space City Cowboys are going to feel very comfortable that they can get a big total in this game today.
Appeal and gone. Ryan Taj is the lone person who is wearing the St. Louis Americans colors who's come to the party with the ball. Caught behind, and that is the end of Calvin Savage. Gets a golden duck, if you will, 97 for 4. 98 for 4.
It's the line. And that has now resulted in yet another wicket for Ryan Taj. He has bowled exceptionally well. You mentioned it. Pick of the bowlers so far. And there's that line. Close to that off stump. Doesn't really allow you for room to be able to play that cut. And two batters now have gone in the same fashion. Ian Dave Chauhan and now Calvin Savage. 98 for 4.
So two things stood out for me here, Manali Patel. First thing is that ball was a lot wider than the one that took the wicket of Ian Dave Chauhan. But Calvin Savage, just having been new to having arrived at the crease just now, not quite able to get that timing right just yet. Had he been in there for another 20 minutes or so, he probably puts that ball away. The second thing I want to point out is that he did not wait for umpire Myron James to raise his hand, Calvin Savage. He immediately turned and walked, and that's what I want to see more of. Talk about the spirit of cricket. If you know you nick it, you head to the pavilion.
I would not be walking. I'm going to wait until I see that finger.
To me, see, there are two different thoughts here, because yes, one is what you just said. The second is we talk about this being a gentleman's game and the spirit of cricket. All of that still applies.
I guess I'm exempt from that then.
You clearly are exempt from it if you want to sit around up. You know what replay I saw last night? Stuart Broad edging one to first slip and standing there watching. That's not the spirit of cricket.
Listen, some of them go your way and then some of them don't. You got to capitalize every bit of luck you get. It's not like the umpires are always right, and sometimes you get some awful decisions too. So you know what? You got to take your chances.
New batter is in, and it is going to be Raymond Dar, a young, aggressive top order batter. Typically opens the batting. Raymond Dar plays in the minor leagues for the team in Dallas, whose name just escapes me. Kings 11 Dallas, thank you. Took some time for that memory to kick in, but Raymond Dar, again, top order batter, very aggressive. My sense is that one of the real reasons why he's at the crease now, because it's a left-handed batter, or left-handed bowler rather, and as a lefty, he's a little bit more comfortable with that ball in that direction. Whoa, boy, he has it on a string here. Ryan Taj really, really bowling well. This is such good stuff. Take the pace all the way off. All the other bowlers in this innings so far have been pacers. They've all gone for runs. Ryan Taj is the lone one who's pulling things back and has taken 2 wickets to boot.
It just raises the question as to why we've not seen more spin. I'm just going back to that point of walking. I've got a lot of respect for people who do walk. A lot, because that really does take a lot of self-pride. But it's not something that I'm willing to have when I'm batting. 8 overs gone, 99 for 4. 1 run away from pulling up the 100. Actually, on that note, I've got a friend who is an umpire, and she's actually it was the LA qualifiers where I was there to commentate. She came to just watch, and Achni Pereira, the Canadian, walked because she nicked one. And this friend of mine absolutely lost it. And she's like, can you just let the umpires do their job? You do your job as a player. Let the umpires do their job. And I'm like, well, listen, you've got to understand everyone has their own way of doing things. And I do have a lot of respect for the people who walk, but it's not something that you can mandate on people. And it's also not something to take as disrespect towards the umpire.
I don't get the mentality that says the umpire is there to do a job. If we're playing cricket, we're not playing baseball, we're not playing American football. We talked about all those other sports 2 days ago. Cricket stands alone. Maybe golf is in the same conversation in terms of self-policing. And to me, that is one of the best things about this sport, is that you as a sports person know what the right decision is. Whether or not the umpire agrees with it, it is your job to walk toward the pavilion if you know that you've knocked the cover off of it.
It's not in the rule book.
Certainly not in the rule book, but the spirit of cricket is still a thing. Didn't you just say that to me the other day?
Spirit of cricket
Yes.
is 100% important, but I'm not walking.
It's 100% important, except for when it's not.
It's also why I'm completely okay if there's a run out at the non-striker's end as the bowler's coming to run in.
That's taking or backing up too far too quickly is against the spirit of cricket, which is why I say run them out every time, because that is in and of itself taking away from the spirit of cricket. This is a whole other philosophical discussion. We can get Joshua Kine into the attack. More pace.
Pushed to the player in the offside and a quick single. I'd love to hear what other people think about this. What is your opinion? If you're watching this, tell us. Are you a walker?
First of all, you have to tell them where to find you. You're all over social media. I'm not nearly the maven of on social media as you are.
Manali Patel _official. Let's hear it. Are you a walker, or do you believe to take your chances out in the middle? Let the umpire do that job.
Skied. Who wants it? Nobody can get to it. Goes all the way for 6.
That fence wanted it. It's a beautiful shot. It's not overhit whatsoever. Ramiz Raja, good piece of willow in that hand, because the way he checked this shot and just saw that ball sail, continued to sail all the way to the fence. There you go, check shot. And just kept going until it hit that fence for 6. And that's going to be a wide, just straying too far down leg.
Yeah, a bit of an issue with the line that Joshua Kind is bowling here. Again, we talked about the fact that outside of off stump is where you want to be. Previous delivery was on the stumps. Bassett Zubair, why are you telling lies on social media?
I really appreciate that comment. Thank you so much. That's going to be another wide down leg. I love it when people clarify what you mean by you actually walked.
Look. So the qualification to this statement is Bassett Zubair knew
Hang
me.
on, tell people what the comment is first.
No, I'm not saying anything about that. Okay. The comment allegedly by Bassett Zubair, as this is played into the extra cover area for a single, is that Brian has never ever walked unless he was walking to the crease.
The truth always comes out.
Bassett Zubair knew me toward the back end of my playing days when I was more of a bowler who barely batted 4 or 5 times a season. So you would not have... Bassett, you were not even born yet when I was... Well, dominating maybe too strong a word. When I was doing well in the Houston Cricket League. I'll put it that way. Remandar, down the ground. Is it catchable? Oh, drops short of Muhammad Elias. You like the effort. but they'll end up with just one run. Good work in the deep.
This is a low full toss. He would have liked to get more bat on it. Very nearly caught in the deep.
Look at this effort. I'll tell you what, that takes courage. That generally can be a really good way to eat a cricket ball. Mohamed Elias really sacrificing his body there.
Sound like you've got experience eating a cricket ball.
Oh my goodness, yes. It's at the point where you realize, oh no, I'm not gonna get there. And then the short hop goes bang into your face. That is never ever pleasant. Going now to the last ball of over, number 9. Still a fast start, 111 on the board. Projection here 251. Well, apart from the 6 that was too straight and the 2 wides that went down the leg side, it's a decent over for Joshua Kind. But boy, those margins for error are so small. So you give up the 6 and the 2 wides. That means that you're over. Instead of going for 8, instead of going for 5, goes for 13. End of 8, make that end of 9. 112 for 4.
Very healthy run rate here. Just shy of 12.5 runs and over. They've been pretty steady up there with this run rate. Excellent start with the bat today. Both openers willing to take on the bowlers in the power play. I know we've mentioned the bowling's been a bit all over the place. Only getting a little bit of reprieve when it's the spinner with the ball, Ryan Taj. He's been quite impressive so far.
Well, excuse me, you've held back a couple of overs from Ryan Taj, your premier finger spinning left-hander. Now going to Arnav Jam. Arnav Jam is primarily known more as a batter than as a bowler, but you've seen the pace taking off of the ball being successful. And so they're looking to recreate that. Oh, look at this. Bit of a miscued shot by Remandar. Gets away with it for a single to start over number 10.
I've got to give credit to St. Louis Americans because, yes, they've been pummeled all over the ground. Mm-hmm. But they've held it together to try and pick up the wickets. 4 wickets picked up. They've not allowed the partnerships to get too out of hand. And now it looks like we might be seeing spin on both ends. Well, unless we see Joshua Kind get one more.
The evidence is that pace off works. Your frontline spinner, Ryan Taj, has 2 overs remaining, so you're going to have to be very judicious in terms of knowing where to use him the rest of the way. Good looking shot by Ramiz Raja down into the deep third area. But the overall scoring rate is exactly 2 runs a ball. Halfway through over number 10, 114 runs on the board. So that's 12 and over, projecting to 240. But importantly, the last 5 overs, not counting this one, have gone for 46. So 9.2 is the rate there, which is still high, but certainly some evidence that the bowlers have started to pull things back. Almost a spectacular catch taken there by Sujit Nayak, out of his hand. But my goodness, how close does this come to being a special?
It's the second one. Had another close call the over before. And would have been exceptional.
Oh.
Full stretch and just not able to get full control of that.
In the air. And 4.
How well is this placed? Timing, power, speed. And it looked for a second that the fielder in the deep would have the ability to try and get there, try and stop this boundary. Just kept going further and further away.
The width is what was wrong with that delivery from Arnav Jam. He'll want that ball to be a lot closer to the off stump line. And then certainly the length was decent, but that wide is always going to cause trouble. A little bit of a delay while the ball was retrieved. The ball was hiding under the covers out there on the western side of the ground. So the fast start continues. 119. So the projection now 242. Haven't seen anything remotely close to that type of score so far. At least not on this ground. But boy, the St. Louis Americans have some work to do yet to pull things back. Interesting. A cheeky looking shot from Ramiz Raja. He'll get close to the boundary. In fact, it goes all the way for 4. Did it? No. Mohamed Elias, I believe, pulls that back. That was very close. But still conceding 2 more runs. 9 from the over. 121 for 4 is your score.
Halfway point. 10 overs gone. 122 for 4. And that last shot was really well played. I just want to get confirmation on whether this was saved. Well done in the deep. Great awareness with that rope. Great agility to be able to throw it back.
Mohamed Elias. There is the stereotypical lumbering. They ran 3 on that. My apologies, I said 2. So the score is actually 122 for 4. There is the stereotypical lumbering fast bowler. Mohamed Elias is not that. He's very athletic, quick across the ground. You saw that athletic attempt at the diving catch earlier. Wasn't able to quite get to it, but he moves very well in the outfield. And he's the type of player that even though his main job is to be an attacking batter, I'm sorry, an attacking bowler, as I'm reading that comment from you, Bassett Zubair, which is why I said batter. Ryan Taj back into the attack.
Down the ground, well fielded. And they'll take just the 1 run.
So the question that we asked was that, was it going to be how are you going to use Ryan Taj the rest of the way? You're now using the penultimate over from him. He's bowled excellently, 2 for 6 in his 2.1 overs, but he only has another 11 balls to go in his spell. 11 balls of the remaining 59. So somebody else is going to have to step up. Ideally, you'd want it to be a couple of players who stepped up and were counted.
Down the ground. This is massive, and it's sailing all the way out of the park. That's gone all the way to the ground, just behind us, down the hill. Massive 6.
What a clean strike that one was. Look at this. Really, the length is the issue here in the slot. If you were to draw a graphic of the slot, that would have landed right in the middle of it. Earlier, I talked about the fact that I thought the reason you bring Remandar in here is because he's a left-handed batter. So that negates the advantage of the left arm spinner, Ryan Taj. And hitting with the turn, not a whole lot of turn. And from around the wicket, you sort of negate that advantage to some extent. But you still have to get it in the right areas. And that one for me was just in the slot, on off stump from around the wicket, posing no problems whatsoever to Remandar.
A little on the shorter side this time, as it's punched down the ground. Won't mind the singles at this point. St. Louis Americans just can't afford to bleed in the boundaries, which they've consistently done at least once or twice and over since this game started. High. Very, very high up in the air. There is a fielder getting under it, and he's just going to have to watch it sail over his head. Make that 6 more. It's the second maximum in the over. And this is exactly what I'm referring to when I say they're bleeding in boundaries.
Oh my goodness. Launched well and truly down the ground. And I will tell you that the fielder back there was not able to get anywhere near that.
He's gotten away with a wide here as well. Ramiz Raja managing to get bat on a very wide delivery.
Well, this pair putting together a decent partnership. 38 is what it's worth so far. Second biggest partnership in the innings. Opening partnership was the one that was most destructive. 66 is what that was worth.
That will be a wide. This time Ramiz Raja says, I'm not fishing for that. Go back up to your mark and you re-bowl it.
Sounds like something you would say when you're batting, Manala Patel.
100%. Picked up in the swinging arc, and despite that one-handed effort in the deep, it is going to go away for 6 more. Expensive over comes to an end. 11 overs gone. It's 143 for 4.
Picked up indeed. Too short. And despite that despairing dive by Sajit Nayak down on the boundary, that still sails over his head for 6. Palmed it over the crossbar, if you will. But my goodness. 143 runs are on the board, 11 overs in. A projected score from here is 260, which is just absolutely brilliant stuff from the Space City Cowboys.
Going at 13 runs and over. With a whopping 9 overs to come. Yes, things can change, and they can change pretty quickly, but when you're sitting at 143 in the 11th over, your batters are already thinking, my goodness, we're going to have to bat out of our skins today. Leg side, swept away. And they'll settle for just the 1 run.
This is the matchup that will be very interesting because he's well set here, Ramiz Raja, 44 from 19, and he's facing a right-handed off-spinner. So that ball turning into him, I'm expecting him to go downtown. Even though from this end he's hitting into the wind, you're down to the last 8 overs, make it the last 9 overs after... Well, you're into the 9th over, so to speak. But I'm expecting him to continue to be aggressive.
Looking for that fine touch. And just almost lucky to not get any bat on that. That was a very straight delivery to be playing that shot.
That's a very anti-Ramiz Raja type of shot, too.
Not going to be wide. Moved well across those stumps. Ramiz Raja looking to play it into the leg side.
Well, that shot that he attempted is more the type of shot I expect to see from Ramiz Raja to the off spinner.
Decent start to the over. Just the 2 runs off the first 4 deliveries. We saw the same sort of start in his last over. What it comes down to is whether he can finish this over as well as he started it.
It's certainly going to come down to that. Excuse me. Those last 2 balls coming up will be important. And I think you realize that deep extra cover in position, deep point in position You know that there's going to be, but my apologies, with the lefty on strike, deep mid wicket, and sort of a wide cow corner. So expecting him to go big in that area, in that big gap on the leg side.
Short delivery. And very lucky to get away with that. Could have pulled it over that fielder, and certainly in the gap as well.
This is a good over in terms of the results. That last ball, as you said, was a little short, but just 3 runs from the over so far with the last ball coming up. Need more of this.
Slashed away in the gap, and it is going to be boundary to end the over. Dense, what would have been a very good over. 12 overs gone. It's 150 for 4.
150 up in the 12th over. What did I say the other day? When you double the score after 12, there's no way they could get to 300, is there? And a little bit of width. When I say a little bit of width, it's actually much wider than Arnav Jam would have wanted for it to be. And from this position, even though, yes, it's been a relatively fast start, if you're a bowler, you're looking to see how you can restrict scoring. You know that both batters at the crease, by the way, that 4 bringing up the 50-run partnership now worth 52. You know that they're going to want to be aggressive going into the last 8 overs here. So your job is to not necessarily look for the glory ball. Your job is to bowl in such a way that restricts scoring. And Joshua Kind generally bowls a good Yorker. I would not mind seeing 6 Yorkers on the trot right in the block hole, because you can accept singles down the ground at this stage. I don't think that you can expect anything that can go for 4s and 6s.
Full, wide, and driven. Joshua Kind trying to keep that ball as far away from the swinging arc of both of these batters.
The length for me is what's important here. I said Yorker. That was almost Yorker length, just short of Yorker length. And yes, the line was a lot wider. You're not necessarily targeting the stumps, but what you're trying to do is not allow the batters to get under the ball. That type of length is what you want at this stage.
That's a full toss, and just going to land short of the fielder. That's the second time we've seen Ramiz Raja play that checked shot, throwing his bat to the ground as well. He'll be disappointed in himself, because he could have actually gone all the way had he not checked it. He's blaming the bat.
That's actually a great piece of fielding in the deep.
It's also going to bring up his half century, Ramiz Raja, off 24 deliveries with that single.
So I don't know, maybe after this ball we'll have time to go back and look at that piece of fielding. Sohan Bhatia really doing well in the deep there.
Slashed away, and it's going to go all the way. 6 more runs. Remandar into the action. That's a poor delivery from Joshua Kind. We said the length was key on the first delivery. This time, length was key again, for the wrong reasons, though.
Well, let's see where this one is. Outside the line of off stump. Giving him the room. You don't want to give that much room to any batter who is in the frame of mind that these 2 batters are. Remandar, very aggressive, as I said, up now to 22 from 14. Partnership building. It is now up to 60. And they're looking to see how they can continue to press home this significant advantage with the bat.
Full, wide, and 6 more. As simple as you like for Remandar. Over-pitched delivery. There's no protection there. Fortunately, you can't set fielders through bad bowling.
goes around the wicket this time, Joshua Kind, and look at that. You want that ball to be way, way fuller. I certainly don't mind going around the wicket to try to sort of cut down the angle and take away the leverage from the batter to free his arms. But if you go around the wicket, that ball has to be spearing in toward the stumps. If it is left outside the line of off stump like that one was, that's trouble. And then if it's outside the line of off stump and too short, in other words, not quite Yorker length, then it becomes a half volley, and Ramandar is an expert enough batter to do with it what he just did. So the really expensive spell here for Joshua Kine, back over the wicket.
Make that 4 runs. Poor delivery again. This time goes for the short ball, but it's way down leg to the left-hander. Pretty easy pickings. 18 runs off the over so far, with a delivery to come.
I don't mind the angle from over the wicket. In fact, I prefer the angle from over the wicket. But my goodness, short and down the leg side is not going to be the type of delivery that you want at this stage. And the result is essentially what you would have expected.
Short, down leg. And they're going to bleed here. 2 runs.
Tell you what, this is a drop. This is flicked, not the best of deliveries, but it's flicked directly to the fielder, short, fine leg. Look at this. And you've got to take that. That is right there. That is a catch that has to be taken. And it is going to be Adya Naidu, who is a good fielder, but he will think that he should have had that one. Expensive over. And should have ended with a wicket, but doesn't. End of over number 13. The score is 170 for 4.
$170 on the cards at the 13 over mark. And if they keep going the way they are, considering they've still got plenty of wickets in hand, we should be looking at something over 200.
Well, just think who is still to come. Let's go through who still has to come as Ryan Taj comes in to bowl his last over.
My goodness, that was a dot ball, Brian.
Haven't seen very many of those. Matthew Trump, Joshua Trump's twin brother, still to come. Ali Sheikh, who's one of the best big hitting all-rounders in the country, still to come. There is batting prowess that is still to come, not to mention the 2 at the crease right now who are working on a 72-run partnership.
Swept away in the gap. And that's going to beat the fielder. That's going to be a boundary.
Swept away expertly by Ramiz Raja. Just a really good looking shot. Proper sweep. And the ball, looking at that ball, is just a little bit too straight. So the first 2 overs bowled by Ryan Taj were very good. But look at that. Going on from around the wicket onto that leg stump and going down. Excuse me, going down. That's going to be just a little bit too straight. And Ramiz Raja putting it away expertly.
Said we're looking at about definitely over 200, you would assume at this point.
Oh my goodness, yes.
But just going back to the toss, when the St. Louis Americans won the toss and they chose to bowl first, what was the thought process there? Because certainly it's not the conditions. The conditions haven't helped them at all. Partly because they've not bowled to the conditions, but...
New pitch, not really sure how it's going to play. Give the other team a chance to bat first, and then you know how to approach your innings, is what I would think. And plus, the natural inclination of many teams is to just want to bowl first because you want to know what you're chasing. But fair to say that that decision has not worked in the way they would have wanted it to.
It's a pet peeve of mine. You know that. You know it's a pet peeve of mine. You're striking the ball so well. Pulls, sweeps down the ground, and then you bring out the reverse sweep.
I think I hate not walking about as much as you hate the reverse sweep.
No, I don't hate the reverse sweep. I hate the reverse sweep not played well. And I see it played poorly far too many times.
Now, by definition, it's a premeditated shot. And so sometimes you're at the mercy of the delivery itself. So that's very full and very straight. So not able to get much on that reverse sweep.
Single to end the over. Tidy compared to what we've seen.
The overall run rate is 12.64 and over. Ryan Taj has just bowled a spell where he conceded 8 runs and over.
You've got to think of the positives. Last over, they were going at 13 runs and over. Small wins.
Well, the point I was making is that Ryan Taj is far and away the best bowler on the day.
Just one boundary, too, off that over.
Just one boundary off that over. Haven't had very many overs like that. 15 fours and 11 sixes have already been struck in this innings. So they are absolutely going all guns blazing here. The players are taking a bit of a water break. Maybe that just gives us time to look at some of these stats. During the power play overs, they scored at the rate of 13 and over. 78 runs scored in the power play. The consolidation phase has just been finished, 14 overs up. In a period where you're supposed to be consolidating, they actually scored at the same rate as they did during the power play. You can believe that. 13 runs and over through the consolidation phase, having lost just 2 wickets. And so now I expect them to absolutely go all guns blazing the rest of the way, as they're looking at a really huge total here. I think they'd be disappointed from this stage with anything under 220.
Just looking at the batting lineup here of St. Louis Americans. That's going to be wicket number 5. And not surprised that it is Naidu coming back in the attack and picking up his 2nd wicket. They needed that breakthrough desperately, the St. Louis Americans, and it's the big name. It's Ramiz Raja.
Ramiz Raja, very wide. Ramiz Raja throwing the bat at it. Just the top edge and a simple catch taken there by the man who's really doing everything on the field today, isn't he? Ryan Taj. But take nothing away from Ramiz Raja. 56 from 29. Excellent innings by the middle order batter, wicketkeeper batter. And I think that you would have seen evidence that the table is well and truly set. The man who has just made his way to, in fact, who is about to make his way to the middle, is the twin brother of the man who will be standing behind him at the stumps, Matthew Trump. So big partnership broken. 79, the biggest partnership of the innings for the fifth wicket. First wicket partnership was worth 66. Ramandar, 34 from 19, is at the non-strikers end, and Matthew Trump will take his place in the middle.
Do you sledge your brother?
Say again?
Would you sledge your brother out in the middle?
I would remind him of the time that he lost control of his balls when he was 3. Just... Oh, Wells. You know what? Moving on. Do you have
Off the
siblings?
mark. Mm-hmm.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I've got a younger brother.
Did you ever play against your siblings at any level?
We have played cricket together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever played against him, actually. But we've played for the same club for a few years together. I wouldn't hold back, though.
You don't seem like the holding back type.
What's life if it's not full of banter and competitiveness? Of course, so, you want them to do well, but not on my watch.
Sure.
Angling into the left-hander, and this is gonna fetch them a couple of runs here. So my husband and his brother have both played for Canada in the past. 219 World Cups. They've actually opened the batting together as well. Very different dynamic there. Very supportive. No banter. And I'm like, how boring is that?
I've taken the cricket field. None of my siblings play cricket. I'm the only one, at least at any high level. Not for never exactly played at a high level, but say club cricket. I've played with my father, and I've played with my son. Playing with my son is one of the most important markers for me that made me decide when I'd stop playing. I said I was not going to stop. I was not going to hang up the cleats or the spikes until after I had the opportunity to take the field with my son. Oh!
He's teed off, and he is teed off a long, long way. This is smashed away for a maximum. Absolutely massive for Matthew Trump.
Clean strike by Matthew Trump. Now, in fairness, this ball is in the slots. And again, we've been talking about the bowlers all day, but you still have to put it away. And this is just an absolutely smoked shot from Matthew Trump, sailing well and truly over the top. And so you get to the point where you're 13 runs away from 200, and you still are in the 15th over. This is absolutely insane.
Did you ever play all three of you together? Your dad, yourself, and your son?
No. When my son was born, my father was already in his late 60s. So no, that did not happen.
That's poor. Should have been a dot ball. I end up squeezing a single. That's going to round off the 15th over. 188 for 5. I'm thinking 224.
Oh no, it's going to be well beyond that. They're scoring right now at the rate of 12.53 and over.
Okay, what do you predict here?
If they continue scoring at 11 and over from here, gets them to 243. You still have Matthew Trump. Well, Matthew Trump is at the crease. He saw what he just did. Ramandar is on 37 from 21. Ali Sheikh still to come. 250 really feels like the minimum.
224.
We'll keep watching.
I think wickets are going to fall.
As we say in Jamaica, watch the ride. Watch the ride.
Say it with an accent, though. Can't say it that way.
Watch the ride. No.
How would you say it with a Jamaican accent?
I just did. You weren't. So you've hung around Jamaicans for so long, you didn't realize when I just switched to the Jamaican accent just now.
I know quite a few Jamaicans.
That's exactly my point.
Been around a lot of West Indians.
Sujit Nayak into the attack for the first time makes you wonder. Sujit Nayak as a left arm orthodox, why was he not brought into the attack earlier when you saw the success that Ryan Taj had? In fact, he's not a left arm orthodox, is he? My apologies, because he looks like he's spinning it with his. No, he is left arm orthodox. Now he's doing it with both hands. My apologies.
Ambidextrous.
Have you ever played with an ambidextrous player?
No, I have not.
One of my teammates right here in Houston, Hilbert Fields, could open the bowling at pace with either left or right. Stunning skill set. I'm not even sure how you get the footwork right in that way, let alone be able to do it at club level in a game.
Cut away. There is protection in the deep. And this is excellent running. They're going to come across for 2 runs.
I'm actually very surprised that Sujit Nayak is only now bowling, because you're introducing a spinner into the attack going into, let's call it happy hour, where the batters have zero reason to hold back. It's a weird time to introduce a spinner into the attack.
Aerial. And into the hands, and he does manage to keep inside the rope. That is going to be wicket number 6. Sujit Nayak into the attack and gets another breakthrough. And it's the set batter, Remindar. 224.
Very, very interesting. Yuvan Vinod, I believe that is, who took that catch. And he got most of that ball with the bat. But look what he does. He tries to drag this from about an 8th stump line. That may well have been given as a wide had he not played that ball. And look at that little expert bit of footwork to stay in the field of play and not step on the rope. If you step on the rope, not only is it not a catch, it goes for 6. But this is really, really brilliant stuff in the deep by Yuvan Vinod.
Looked like a bit of salsa out there. While he managed to stay inside. There were some similarities to salsa, no? Legs, hips, a bit of everything.
Well, you just literally told me yesterday you don't know how to dance. So why are we even talking about
I don't know how to dance. Doesn't mean I don't know how to analyze moves when I look at them.
So one lefty leaves the crease, another lefty comes to the crease. Ali Sheik. If you've seen Ali Sheik over the years, you will know that he's always been a brilliant fielder. I've always referred to him as the best fielder in the country. He has always been a difficult to get away left arm orthodox bowler. But the development with his batting in the last few years, I think, is what is most impressive about him. And he's grown into his body. He's a lot more wiry, a lot more mature now physically, and he can hit a long ball with the best of them.
We certainly got the right sort of opportunity to be able to tee off here. No pressure whatsoever for the 2 batters. This has been a tidy over from Sujit Nayak. 16 overs gone, 193 for 6. 16 overs gone, 193 for 6, with 4 overs to come. It's an interestingly poised time in this first innings because, yes, they've got a lot of runs, but they've just now lost a very important wicket. And now all of a sudden the bowling just starts to look like it's getting back on top of the mark where it should be. Mohamed Ilyas will come back for his second spell. 2 very expensive overs going for 30 runs. Oh, and he opened the bowling. Now my prediction is 224 runs. Brian's prediction is well over 250.
Well, I said 250 earlier. I may have to back off of that just a little bit. But it will be more than 224.
I don't know why you doubt me.
I may land on 240. One more over after this for Mohamed Ilyas. Sujit Nayak has just been to the crease, into the attack. All the other bowlers have been expensive. Ryan Taj is done. 2 very explosive batters at the crease. All of that to me adds up for way more than 224.
Time will tell. I was right the last time. Remember that game?
I don't.
What? You said 147. I said 155, I think.
Now you're just making up stuff.
Oh my gosh. Brian, this is on YouTube. We can completely put that game up again. That's a poor delivery. Full toss and helped along the way for 6 runs. Matthew Trump will pick up his second maximum here.
200 on the board. 201 for 6. The last 21 balls of the innings coming up. So if we go by your target, they're going to run a ball the rest of the way. Less than a run a ball the rest of the way. Or around a run a ball.
Well, you can't be bowling that. Missing his mark, Mohamed Ilyas. Low full toss. Easy pickings.
Wow. I just heard a Jamaican accent. You know, Matthew Trump, I think the book on Matthew Trump is that he's a very solid all-rounder, but his batting has come along leaps and bounds in the last couple of years. Always been a good bowler, excellent fielder, but the batting, especially at this stage of the innings, is one aspect of his game that has improved significantly. His brother Joshua Trump, always been a good batter, and I hope that doesn't sound like I'm being critical of Matthew in his batting, but he has really come along.
Gets it past the bowler, correction past the fielder, and that's going to run away for 4. Really well played, just opening the face of the bat and placed it really well.
This is expertly done by Ali Sheikh. Outside the line of off stump, just opening the face. That's not a bad ball. That is just guided through that area behind point for 4. Excellent shot. So 224, you said.
Mm-hmm.
You're out of the game in the next 18 balls. 18 runs, I should say.
Oh dear. From bad to worse for Mohamed Ilyas. Low full toss, outside off. And this is going to run away for another boundary to close off an expensive over. 3 overs, 46 runs. And I don't know if he's going to be given his final over.
Well, you have to give him his final over, as expensive as he's been. He's your best bowler, at least your best pace bowler. And you want your best pace bowler coming in to bowl at the death.
I don't necessarily agree with that. When your bowlers has gone all over the park as he has today, and he has completely missed his mark, completely all right with bringing in a part-timer. 17 overs gone, 210 for 6.
If I'm the captain, he just bowled an over where the first 2 deliveries were very full, very straight, struck down the ground for singles. I go to him and I say, I'm coming back to you in over number 19. I want 6 balls just like the first 2 of your last over.
Yeah, not taking that chance. I think his bad day is just going to continue, even if he does come in for his final over. Surely you've got to have a few more bowling options in the side, though.
Well, you can't select 11 bowlers. Somebody's going to have to
On
be able
some
to bat.
level, on some level, everyone's a bowler.
Correct.
Slight shimmy down the ground.
Oh, you've got
And that's going to be a wicket. Matthew Trump has been run out. Not the way that you expect a wicket to fall, but this is a soft run out. And you could see the agony in Joshua Trump. He just didn't want to take those bails off.
I don't think that was agony. That was teasing his brother. Look at this. Hey.
And then looks him in the eye as he gives him a send-off. Gone for 18 off 9. It's 210 for 6.
That is painful. A 33-run partnership that was starting to develop, starting to look really, really dangerous. And Matthew Trump plays the shot into the offside. Came running down the track. To me, did not have the sense of urgency needed to get back into your crease when that ball is fielded. Oh, that pains me. That genuinely pains me because he was batting so well, Matthew Trump, and you were looking for much more from him. It is now going to be Rit Hinge from right here in the Houston area. Another young man. Rit Hinge joining up with Ali Sheikh. Oh, you hate when the batters give it away, and it really does feel like Matthew Trump gave it away there.
I don't know. It sounds like 224 is now more realistic.
Well, I'm not counting on the batters to give away the wickets either.
Worked into the leg side, and it's going to be just a single.
Oh my goodness. I really like Rit Hinge as a batter. He's not necessarily a power hitter. And the fact that dismissal has just occurred means that more is now on the shoulders of Ali Sheikh. 10 from 4.
Goes leg side. There is a fielder there. And again, just another single. Sujit Nayak has been effective.
If this score ends up at 224, I will eat this shirt that Mangesh Chowdhury just brought to us.
Oh, I'd like to see that. Brings out the reverse. And just another single. Something tells me it's still going to be closer to 224 than 250.
Oh, there's no question there. I'm not worried it will land on exactly 224. It is up to Ali Sheikh.
Tossed up this time, and a very tidy over from Sujit Nayak comes to an end. 5 runs coming off of it. And I think there's still one more delivery to come. 4 runs off of it so far. Gosh, it's almost like I'm predicting.
If this is a single, I'm going to make the assumption that you somehow have developed a time machine and are actually doing commentary from about 3 minutes ahead of us right now.
Aerial through the offside and make that yet another wicket. Safe pair of hands in the deep. Sujit Nayak has picked up his second wicket, and it's going to be the second wicket of the over. 18 overs gone, 214 for 8.
A little bit of a hesitation in the delivery. Is that what threw Hinge off? And he serves up a catch in the deep. I believe that's also Yuvan Vinod who's taken that catch. And that is wicket number 8. And something is telling me that we're going to land exactly on 224. Horror of horrors. In fact, that was Adya Naidu who's taking that catch.
I don't want to brag, but, I just have pretty good inclination of how the game is going to ebb and flow. Sometimes we might think that it's going to be a big score, but as you start to lose wickets in the death of an innings, you just see a lot of that momentum slow down.
Oh, look who's about to bowl. It's Mohamed Elias.
Again, if I was captaining this side, I would have given it to a part-timer. Probably not the right time.
Part-timer in the 19th over.
I don't think you can get any worse than this spell has been from him.
He is your senior bowler. You dance with the one who's brung you, as we say here in Texas. And I'm going to tell him, if I'm his captain, I want 6 Yorkers pitching on the popping crease. Sometimes a senior bowler has to stand up and be a senior bowler, even if he's been expensive so far.
Does have a very long run up, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Full and straight. That's what you want.
I had absolutely no idea where that ball went, Ali Sheikh. And listen, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt here. Only though, because they're 8 wickets down now, and you've got 2 new batters out of the middle.
That is not doubt. You're not going to give the ball to a part-timer. You're also not going to give it to Adya Naidu or Yuvan Vinod, who've both been very expensive. If everybody's been expensive, you give it to the more senior guy.
Down the ground, and another single. If there was a set batter there, he would have been in trouble.
So just let's try that again. Zia Shazad is the new batter, coming in at number 10. Ali Sheikh 12 from 7. 250 feels like it's about as far away from here as we are from Austin. But you're going to want your senior bowler here to give you 4 more deliveries, full and straight.
In the air, there is a fielder getting under it, and it's going to be Joshua Kine to take that catch. Wicket number 9.
At this rate, not even 224 is on the cards. They have collapsed. Collapsed is a little strong, but they have slowed down tremendously. 215 for 9 is where you are now. This is essentially just lofted into the air. Catching practice for Joshua Kind. About 10 yards in from the rope, easy as you like. Wicket number 9. A team that started out as aggressively as the Space City Cowboys did is actually in danger of being bowled out. The last man in is going to be, I believe that is Shuja Nakvi. We'll see that shortly, but my goodness. 9 wickets down. Can you believe that we've gotten to the stage where we're talking about? Yes. Okay, yes, you can believe it because you're nodding furiously. But this, in fact, this is Karthik Gatepale, lefty. So 2 lefties at the crease. And my goodness, this just looks like a different game altogether now. Still a steep hill to climb. 215 is a lot of runs. I thought they would have been looking at 40 more runs than this.
Yeah, just losing steam towards the end of this innings. St. Louis Americans, they'll feel somewhat relieved that it's not going to get to 250. try and keep it in a reasonable range to be able to come out and chase.
Mohamed Elias is bowling an excellent last over. As a reminder, his first 3 overs went for 46 runs combined. In this, his last over, he's only conceded 1 run with 2 balls to come. And he has taken the wicket of Zir Shazad. So it feels like they need to find a way here to make sure that Ali Sheikh is the one who gets back on strike. They take the single. If I'm Ali Sheikh, I'm looking for a single off of the last ball of Mohamed Elias' spell. That's exactly the plan. He wants to be on strike to start over number 20, Ali Sheikh. So he ends it with a single. 3 runs coming from the last over bowled by Mohamed Elias. Excellent last over, despite how expensive he was in the first 3. 1 more over to go, 217 for 9.
Last over. Sujit Naik into the attack. Starts very wide.
Ali Sheikh is farming the strike. Easy single on offer there, but he refuses it. He is looking to go big in these last 5.
I'm really perplexed. I mean, he moved over a little bit. I really thought that would have been given a wide.
If he moved over, that's why it wasn't given a wide.
That's a wide, and I think that's a fair call.
Sujit Nayak is complaining, and I think erroneously complaining, that Ali Sheikh moved over. He did move over marginally, but the ball was so far wide outside the line of off stump that, take a look at this. He just moves over a little bit. And in fact, he doesn't move over before the ball is bowled. He's trying the reverse sweep, so the ball is that much wider. It's not him moving over so as to have the wide line move with him. So a good call for me.
Oh dear. Goes leg side this time. Premeditated to bring out the reverse. And he's hit this backwards.
And also turns down the single. So Ali Sheikh is saying, I need to be the one facing. If you're going to be saying that, then you need to be hitting the ball. And this ball needs to be traveling over backward square leg, over square leg. But you can't keep refusing singles and then not getting runs.
He's going to keep strike again as he has refused another run. I'm not so sure this is the best way to go about it. 4 dot balls and 1 wide. He's just become very predictable with this shot, hasn't he? He's moved across for absolutely everything this over. Sujit Nayak is thinking, all right, well, I'll keep it nice and straight.
The last ball is about to be bowled in over number 20. No runs off the bat yet in over number 20. One wide is all you've gotten. This one, obviously, we're running on anything, but this is a relatively disappointing way to end the innings, I think. Checking my phone to see if I have a text message from Athanaki.
Lot of discussions bowling this last delivery. My goodness.
The worst that could happen is it's a 6. You don't have a whole lot of talking to do.
Low full toss, not the best of deliveries, and it is going to go for 6 runs. Brian Walters, please, I'll have you close this game.
225 is the target. Brilliant strike from Ali Sheikh. He would have wanted a lot more of those. Unbelievable powers of prediction. Unbelievable powers of prediction by Monali Patel. I am speechless. Let's take a look at the scorecard. In fact, that's not the scorecard we want to see. The Space City Cowboys were dominant. Nominal War, 42 from 17. Arakananta, 30 from 18. Top scorer, Ramiz Raja, 56 from 29. And also Remandar batted well. Matthew Trump and Ali Sheikh. Ali Sheikh ending up with 20 from 15. There will be some conversation as to whether or not, having turned down all of those singles, that he should not have done more in that last over. Somehow, the bowlers, look at that. Every single one of them was in the action, some more expensive than others. The pick of the bowlers for me, Sujit Nayak as well as Ryan Taj. Ryan Taj went for 8 and over and took 2 wickets. Sujit Nayak 2 wickets, and somehow keeping it under a run of ball, being introduced at the death. So brilliant bowling from him. And what an absolutely brilliant effort toward the back end. Somehow the last 6 overs make that the last 5 overs went for 36 runs, 7.2 as compared to an overall innings rate of 11.2. So the Space City Cowboys put together a big score. I think they'll be somewhat disappointed with where they ended up, though, because they were on target for a lot more than the 224 that they ended up with. And that was so expertly predicted by Manala Patel. We'll have a short break here in the commentary area, and we'll see whether or not the St. Louis Americans can chase down 225. See you shortly.
Welcome back to the action. It is time for the chase. Mammoth total put on in that first innings. 225 runs needed from here on off the 120 deliveries. St. Louis Americans winning the toss, choosing to bowl first, and they were absolutely pummeled in that first innings, partly because of some really good batting and partly because of some poor bowling. They now have set themselves a target of 225 and a lot of work to be done from here on. Looks like Lahuru Milantha is going to start things off with the bat. And Shuja Nakvi will be starting things off with the ball. I like this from Space City Cowboys. There's a slip in place. They're starting with the aggression early, and they will feel like they've got the upper hand here. Scoreboard pressure will certainly play a role today in this game. But just a beautiful day here at Prairie View Cricket Complex at the Houston Open 2026. And along with Lahuru Milantha, it's going to be Sohan Bhatia at the non-striker's end. They need to get off to a flyer here, the two openers, and they need to capitalize on these power play overs. Fielding restrictions will have plenty of gaps for them in the outfield. It's good shape, good angle to the left-hander.
I once opened the bowling in a six-a-side tournament with Shuja Nakvi. Shuja Nakvi was probably 17 years old back then, so this is some time ago. But I have always loved his bowling action, which is just very clean. I like that big jump before he delivers, and very pacey.
Again, that angle across the left-hander, taking it away. Lahuru Milantha looking to put that into the leg side, just too far away from him. I'll need to try and find a way to get closer to the line of that ball. Try and move across the stumps.
In some ways, chasing 225 is liberating because there is no choice and no doubt as to what you have to do. You have the only choice is to go after the runs. You're not going to take time to sort of try to gauge the chase and when do you accelerate. None of that figures here. You need 12 runs and over, essentially, 11.44 as to be specific. And so 2 runs off of every ball is what you're looking for. Somebody like Lahuru Milantha is very aggressive, and he is the type that would start you going towards that total.
Inside edge. I won't find the gaps. 3 dot balls to start.
It'd be really important to see how Shuja Nakvi finishes this over. You're obviously in the power play. You're looking for him to bowl just short of length because there's a sweeper on the offside. That's Matthew Trump, and then there's somebody sweeping on the leg side as well.
Up and over through the offside, and it's going to go 1 bounce 4. A bit fuller this time from Shuja Nakvi. Allows for Lahuru Milantha to get into a better position to put this one away.
So I just said he needed to be short of length because the protection in the deep, only 2 allowed outside the circle, of course, are square of the wicket on the off and leg side. Well, at that length, with it being full enough to drive, that is counterintuitive as it compares to the field setting that you have. So Shuja Nakvi will know to make that adjustment.
2 straight this time, and it's going to be 4 into the leg side. Back-to-back boundaries.
Yeah, the problem, certainly, you nailed it. 2 straight going down the leg side. Certainly nothing that you'd want to do in terms of getting the ball outside the line of off stump. The idea is to get it outside the line of off stump. If it's at the body from that angle over the wickets, that is always going to cause trouble. So consecutive boundaries here, and you're not necessarily off and running, but you're going after the total.
Going down leg, half a shout and a dot to end the first over. 8 runs coming off of it, 8 for none. Talk about consistency. We've spoken about it in the first innings as well, where the bowlers just weren't able to consistently execute, weren't able to consistently bowl the ball in the right areas. And this is a pretty good example as well. Started really well with 3 dot balls, and then the fourth one just too full. And then the ball right after that, too straight, too easy.
What you just said is very accurate in a vacuum. But imagine that you concede 8 runs and then the required rate goes up. Because that's what scoreboard pressure does when you're chasing 225. 8 runs ordinarily as a bowler, you'd think, okay, I'm a little too expensive. But my goodness, having to chase 225 means you have to score at over 11 and over. From here, 11.42. So you actually benefit your side as a bowler when you concede 2 4s in and over.
It is still early days though for me, and I believe if they can get off to a decent enough start here, they won't be too concerned about that required run rate right now. If they can get a couple of overs in where they've got their eye in, got a good partnership, a good read on this surface, there is still potential to chase this down. Pretty breezy out there as we see Karthik Gattapalli coming into the attack.
Well, the best bowlers in this match have been left-arm orthodox spinners. Sujit Nayak and Ryan Taj in the first innings. And now Karthik Gattapalli, who is a really good young off-spinner, meaning finger spinner, left-arm finger spinner, turning it away from the right-hander Sohan Bhatia. The matchup when he comes in to face Lahiri Malantha will be an interesting one.
We've seen some pretty cool hairstyles over the last few days. Have a look at this one. Karthik Gattapalli. Curly locks in the wind. Dragged down. And he's going to help himself to 4 more here. Sohan Bhatia opens up his account with a boundary. Short, wide. Again, the consistency, not there.
Well, the width is, when I say width, it was on maybe a 4th stump line and turning away. But Sohan Bhatia, give credit to him staying leg side to make sure that he gives himself that just a little bit of extra leverage to play that ball away through the offside for 4. So 3 boundaries so far. Challenge accepted, it seems.
Watchfully played.
Yeah, that one's quicker and flatter by Karthik Gattapalli. The conditions are such. As this goes down the leg side, the conditions are such, excuse me, that your point is accurate. You don't necessarily need to start worrying about the required rate just yet, but you also can't allow yourself to absorb a lot of dot balls. You certainly don't want to start being in the position where you're not taking advantage of the opportunity to score runs.
Again, very, very watchful. Just the 4 and the wide, the delivery before. I want to try and close this off as well as he's been in this over Karthik Gattapalli. Oh wow, this is absolutely missed everything. And you've got to feel for the keeper as byes are signaled. It surprised the batter, surprised the keeper. And it's going to go away for 4. Right through.
Oh,
Just with the arm, no turn.
looking quizzically at the pitch. Yendef Chahan.
Back of a length. And this is going to be tight. Maybe a direct hit. A quick single, though, to end the second over. It's 18 for none.
I'd be able to get a second look at that run-out opportunity. That was a lot closer than I think you would have been able to tell. Take a look. Oh, maybe we won't get the chance to look at the replay, but you do have to take some chances when you're chasing 225, and the first 2 overs have netted you 18 runs. So in most instances, that's to your advantage. You certainly want to be able to score heavily during the power play overs, but once again, when you're chasing a total that you need 11.5 runs and over, you're in a bit of a tricky position. Your back is against the wall. Shuja Nakvi back into the attack.
Leg side, pulled away. Again, not the connection that he would have liked, and it's going to be just the 1 run. This is the pressure we talk about in the second innings. When the total is so massive, when you don't find the boundary as often as you need to, it starts to put additional pressure, and that's where the wickets come. And that's why chasing these mammoth totals is so hard.
It's hard, but it's also, as I said earlier, liberating. You know that poking around is not going to get it done. So there's no sort of trying to gauge at what point do you need to be at 30 runs? What do you need after the power play? Those discussions essentially all go out the window, because you know that the only way that you win this game is to just put your foot down on the gas and accelerate and try to find a way to score those runs. Oof.
Pressure building. 3 or 2.5 fairly decent deliveries worth of overs worth of deliveries, I should say. We're losing them.
What's a half a delivery?
It's lunchtime, Brian.
Clearly.
It's lunchtime. Into the right-hander, picked up well enough to run away to the boundary. That angle just helping Sohan Bhatia pick this up and put it away.
Yeah, not a clean strike, but it will look on the scoreboard or in the scorecard like that's exactly what he meant. I'll tell you that it's going to be tricky. That was actually a very good ball from Shuja Nakvi in terms of the movement, but he just started it a little too straight. And that seam movement, taking it down the leg side, he'll want to start that ball outside the line of off stump.
Oh, that would have been gone. That should have been gone. Full stretch drive here.
Zir Shazad gets there. It's not easy, but he's running to his strong side, his right side, and I think he will tell you that he should have taken this. Take a look at this. First of all, he reacts a little bit late, and it gets to him knee height, but really that should have been taken.
Into the leg side, and just a single. Started out as a decent over. Has just leaked a few more runs than Shuja would have liked. 3 overs gone. It's 26 for none. Karthik Gattapalli will come back for his second over. Just the 6 runs coming off his first over. One of those was a wide as well. Grip and turn. This is turned a mile. Very unlucky to be given a wide there.
Yeah. 6 runs credited to Karthik Gattapalli. 10 runs total from his first over. Remember, there were those 4 byes. And so if you are the St. Louis Americans, you don't care how those runs come. You don't care if they're byes, leg byes, 4s, 6s. You just need to find a way to start accelerating beyond the 8.67 runs per over that you're scoring as of right now.
Won't find the gap this time. Sohan Bhatia. I said earlier that they're going to need to try and make use of these power play overs, make use of the fielding restrictions. This is very close to the top of middle and leg. Looking to get inside the line of the ball, Sohan Bhatia. They haven't made use of these power play overs yet, and we're into the 4th over. Down the ground and into the hands. That's going to be the first one down. Sohan Bhatia did not have the connection he would have liked, and Karthik Gattapalli is going to strike with the first one.
Karthik Gattapalli it is. Said earlier that the left arm orthodox bowlers are the best bowlers in this match so far. That won't always be the case, but on this occasion, a pretty straightforward chance. You had to go after it. You want to start attacking, but that's a very straightforward chance. And a simple catch taken, I believe that was Norman Anwar. But more to the point, you've gotten 1 wicket down, and that certainly makes it more and more difficult from here for you, because for the most part, as I said, you have to accelerate, have to push toward something that resembles a big total to at least challenge the total set by the Space City Cowboys. Joshua Trump will be coming into the attack, facing up to Karthik Gattapalli, who again is a really good bowler. Josh Trump and Lahiri Malantha. You can do worse in this side than have those 2 at the wicket if you're looking for quick runs.
Required run rate, 12 runs and over. And the first wicket gone. Pressure continuing to add to the troubles for St. Louis Americans here. I know we've had this overrate discussion many times. I'm just going to bring it one more time. Worked into the leg side.
The discussion is that the umpires are key in enforcing the overrates. Especially, and one thing that we don't do well enough, I think, in this country is say, hey, look, at the point I call over, you have 60 seconds to start the next over. And that essentially allows them to start going through the process of changing bowlers, setting fields, etc. All that happens.
Into the leg side, and it's going to go all the way for 6. Just over the rope. Lahiri Malantha.
Effortless shot, wasn't it? Just helping himself. Really not much flourish in the shot. Just flicking it over his shoulder. Look at this. Very little flourish. And it sails away for 6.
He's done really well to get inside that line as well. Wasn't the worst of deliveries.
Now, having said that, if I'm Karthik Gatapale, I'm going around the wicket to create the angle going across him, because as a left-hander, it's much easier for Lahuru Malanta to get inside the line when the bowler bowls over the wicket to you. Essentially just a shimmy across, and if the ball is anywhere near the stumps, it's easy to get inside the line. I would think that around the wicket to try to calm him down and cut that angle off is a better option.
What is the hold up right now? I know, but just I'm hungry.
The ball is not going to find itself, Manali Patel. You still have to find it. And this isn't baseball where the umpire just dips into his bag and pulls out another ball.
Cricket balls are too expensive for that.
I would agree. Maintaining that over the wicket angle, as I said, it's going to be interesting when the lefty faces up to the lefty for that reason, because it's easier for Lahiri Malanta to play an aggressive shot on the leg side with the left arm finger spinner bowling to him. Ooh.
Watched through to the keeper. And a dot to end the fourth. It's 35 for 1. That required run rate steady at almost 12 runs and over. I haven't really seen a flourish of a start here from the St. Louis Americans. And having lost that early wicket has just pegged them back a little bit. It's come in quite nicely to the right-hander. Good shape on the ball. Also, just looking a little bit closer, the bails have been taken off, right? It's not just my eyes. I know it's really windy out there, but I don't see any bails on there.
Good catch. Good eye. I missed that completely, but yes, you're exactly right. Windy conditions, you can see the uniforms of each of the players blowing in the breeze, if you will.
Coming down the track, Lahiri Malanta trying to get some bat on it. And that angle, just taking it further and further away from the left-hander.
I mentioned the required rate now going up to 12.06. It is more than 2 runs a ball from here. Lahiri Malanta looking to run down the track. You'll probably see him do that more and more. Oh! Put away for 4. Now, Shoja Nakvi will tell you that this is too wide. And Lahiri Malanta does not need any invitation to play that full-blooded cut shot, given that the ball is that wide. Really, regardless of game situation, that is always a ball that you'll be able to score off of. So Shoja Nakvi will want that ball to be much closer to the line of off stump.
Slashed away and placed well as well. Just wide of the fielder in the deep. Low full toss on leg. And that's out of the park. It's gone for 6.
Wow. So it's not often that you see a bowler who gets 3 consecutive overs inside the power play. This is a low full toss once again and put away for 6. Now, under the circumstances where you need as many runs per over as you do here, you're at least in the game. Or 2 balls remaining in this over. Oh, could not clear the fielder at mid-off. That is Calvin Savage. Calvin Savage is about 6'5". It probably goes over another fielder's head, but this is well caught, well judged by Calvin Savage. That is wicket number 2. That is the end of Lahiri Milanta. And Shuja Nakvi, after taking some stick the last couple of balls, comes back to take the big wicket of Lahiri Milanta, 46 for 2.
Slashed away again, and no real connection out of that meaty part of the bat. Fairly straightforward catch in the end. And that's going to be the second one that bites the dust.
Well,
One delivery to come in the over. I hear Milantha makes a slow walk back to the pavilion.
I genuinely, well, there's not very many people in this sport who I don't like, but I really, really do like this young man coming in now, Arnav Jam. Arnav Jam is from the St. Louis area. I know I told you at least a couple of times in the last few days that my son and he played on the same tournament or on the same team in a tournament a couple of years ago, really 10 years ago now, in St. Louis. Megastar, in many ways the future of the sport here in this country. And I think that you will have seen, based on what he's accomplished in his career thus far, that he's absolutely what you look for, both on and off the field. Shuja Nakvi, 1 ball remaining in this is third over. Been a little bit more expensive than this over than he'd like to be, but certainly taking a wicket cures many ails. Went for the Yorker.
Just gets it down leg. This is a very good delivery, though. A little bit straighter. And it could have caused some problems for Arnav Jam.
See the expression of Shuja Nakvi's face, thinking, boy, it was not far away from being about the best Yorker that I could bowl. That length is perfect, and sometimes you try to York a new batter for that reason.
Really liking this angle coming in. 5 overs gone. It's 47 for 2. Two deliveries in. Kartik Gatapali starts with a dot. And again, the singles, they will not be concerned. I feel like they're in the driving seat here. Space City Cowboys. Space City Cowboys. Some of these names just really make my brain think or picture, you know.
The Space City. That's a pretty easy one.
Well,
right?
I when I hear Space City, I've got an astronaut helmet in mind, and then you say
Right.
Cowboys, and I'm like, hang on, now how does that cowboy hat fit into that?
Cowboy, because you're in Texas.
No, you're not understanding.
I think I do.
I'm picturing one person looking like a
Right.
cow, cowboy, or a Space City cowboy.
I we'll meet you halfway.
Well bowled.
A
Just
team-
outside.
A team that is in Texas, you can certainly appreciate that the name Cowboy would be involved. And in Houston, meaning the Houston area, you can understand why it's Space City. Where I'll meet you halfway is that it's a bit of a confusing message to mesh those two together. That's all I'll give you.
Up and over. This is well played, well placed. And it's going to bring a boundary. Need plenty more of those.
50 up with that shot as well. So, Arnav Jam getting his first boundary of the day. Joshua Trump and Arnav Jam, if you add both of their ages together, you're still probably south of your age. So, two very, very young men is what I'm trying to say.
How old are they?
Okay, let's let that one go through to the keeper. Powered away into the leg side, at least a couple more here.
No, I am actually asking. I'm genuinely curious as to how young they are.
Okay, Arnav Jam is probably the same age as my son, so I'm going to say 20. And Joshua Trump and Matthew Trump just turned 21 a couple of months ago. Okay, fine. I was joking with what I said earlier.
End of the power play. 6 overs gone. It's 54 for 2.
Let's do a comparison. End of the power play. Even though the Space City Cowboys had just lost a couple of wickets, they were 78 for 2 at the end of that period. So you've fallen well behind, and bearing in mind that the Space City Cowboys did not in any way slow down their over rate or their scoring rate out of the power play. Even though the field was spread as much as it could be, they still scored at the rate of 13 runs and over throughout what we call the consolidation phase, over 7-14. And so you've fallen behind here, St. Louis, and then you're still facing the prospect of continuing to fall behind as you've gotten out of the power play and the field can be more defensive. I hear you, Mr. Athanaki. Rit Hinge into the attack.
What are you talking about?
It's a text message that I just got from Athanaki.
Ah.
Basically, he's admonishing me for trying to put it out there how old you are.
Right. It's a good thing I think age is just a number. Cutaway in the gap. And it'll be another single. Didn't quite get the most out of those first 6 overs in the power play with the fielding restrictions. And now it's going to be very hard to find those boundaries with the field having moved out.
So a lot of guesses in the chat function on YouTube as to what the final score was going to be. If you all want to join into that conversation, as that's drilled down the ground for 4, that is a really good looking strike from Arnav Jam, his second boundary. But I just started saying, if you all want to join the conversation and guess as to what this final score is going to be, feel free, whether in the YouTube chat section or as Monale, what is your social media handle again? Monale Patel _official. We take our predictions here. Don't know if they'll be as good as the one that you heard from Monale Patel earlier. But look, you still have to go after these runs, and they're trying their best here. And I've jammed a couple of boundaries so far.
Trying to go down the ground again, and it will go for a maximum. Arnav Jam looking at his bat, because that wasn't out of the middle of the bat. Very high up on that bat. He's done really well to get it as far as he has.
I'll tell you what, It is hit well. Calvin Savage, again, 6'5", so if you're clearing him, you've hit it well. But you're playing on the westernmost pitch today. If you're playing on the other pitch, the pitch that was used in the last couple of days, that's probably a catch.
Well placed. 4 more. Taking a liking to Hinge. Arnav Jam has now raced to 20 off just 8 deliveries.
It's interesting. Scoring at the rate of 10 and over now. 10.1 is what that scoring rate has gone up to. And you've done that with Joshua Trump essentially being a passenger so far. He's not needed to do, in fact, he hasn't faced very many balls. Just faced 6 balls and only scored 4. But if you have Arnav Jam scoring the way he is now, and then Joshua Trump also comes to the party, you can actually visualize a scenario where they actually go after this target and get close to it. Oh.
Mammoth absolutely bludgeoned this straight down the ground, and this is going to sail away for 6 runs. What an expensive over this has been from Rit Hinge.
21 runs come from over number 7. When you get out of the power play, you're not expecting the very next over to go for more runs than any of the overs during the power play. Rit Hinge will want to not leave that ball in the slot. Arnav Jam is very strong. He can drive the ball down the ground really effectively. You saw him do that there. So, once again, you're needing to score at the rate of 11.54 and over the rest of the way, but your scoring rate is actually 10.7. You're not far off. End of over number 7 is 75 for 2.
Seven overs, 75 for 2, with 150 more needed from here on. St. Louis Americans have got a distance to go still from here on as we see Zia Shahzad come in with the ball.
Zia Shahzad can either bowl leg spin or medium. Bowling leg spin here, and that's struck down the ground by Joshua Trump. His twin brother Matthew does the fielding. And so where you are now, you're looking to see whether or not you can help capitalize on the over that you just had. A good over, 21 runs coming from it. Can you in some ways use that as a launching pad to get something close to what you're looking for in terms of a serious run at this target? Oh, this is a bit of a long hop.
Oh my God.
Might have well gotten away with it. Gets Calvin Savage to get his big 6'5" frame down onto the ground to keep that one from running by. So a couple of singles to start over number 8. 148 runs is a really long way away, but as I always say, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? And they're trying to take little bites out of the elephant that is now down to 147. Arnav Jam, 27, one bite at a time. Arnav Jam, 27 from 10. Joshua Trump, 6 from 8. So this is going to be close and given. I'll tell you what, that is a really good ball. Straight on with the arm, and it catches Arnav Jam on the crease. Not really getting forward on that one. Umpire Myron James thinking about it for long enough to then believe that this ball would have crashed into the top of what I believe is middle and off. Let's take a look at the replay when it comes up, but don't have a lot of issues with this delivery. Look at this again. In fact, it would have been the top of middle and leg is what it looks like. So there, that gives you a good look at it. He's catching him on the crease, not really coming forward. and he's hit him below the knee roll, so I don't think height would have been an issue either. So Arnav Jam looked good for the time that he was there, but he is going to have to go back to the pavilion, having been dismissed. Zir Shazad into the attack and immediately reaping rewards. 78 for 3, 2 balls remaining over number 8. So 78 for 3. Joshua Trump now becomes the senior partner, 6 from 8. You saw this man with the ball earlier bowl a really, really good spell, really ultimately being the best of the bowlers for the St. Louis Americans. But he's going to need to do it with the bat here. Left-hander. And Zir Shazad bowling leg spin. So Sajid Nayak will want to see the ball turning into him from the leg spinner. So 3 singles and a wicket. Good way to start by Zir Shazad. So wickets falling always slows down the momentum. There was some momentum building there where that over rate or the required rate was just starting to come down a little bit. But now with the fall of wicket number 3, things have slowed down. Looking to paddle this one around the corner. Sort of a under edge that gets it in that deep backward square leg area. Really more fine leg. Jog through for a couple of runs, and that will be the end of over number 8. Good one for the Space City Cowboys. A lot of work to do here for the St. Louis Americans, and the job to do just got harder. End of 8, 80 for 3. Joshua Trump will be facing up to Rit Hinge. Rit Hinge will be looking for a better over than the last one that he bowled. Very full and wide outside the line of off stump. And he starts out with a wide. Interestingly, the keeper, Yandev Chauhan, is keeping up to the stumps, wanting to dissuade Joshua Trump from wanting to go wandering down the track. Played down the ground here, looking for 2. Probably no, they immediately decide that 1 is good enough. So look, you're certainly looking for the ways that you're going to try to manufacture an argument to where you can actually try to challenge this total, because the required rate now sneaking upwards above 12.08. Your own run rate is not too far off. 12, make that 10 and over is what you're scoring at. But it does mean that you need to push on even the 10 and over. Obviously from here scoring you'd get to 201, but 201 still leaves you short of the mark. So your job now is to try to figure out ways that you can start accelerating beyond the 10 and over that you're going to be scoring at. Having said that, first ball in this over was a wide, but Ridhinge just conceding a single and a dot after that. So he's starting out a lot better here than the last over, where he gave up 21 runs. The biggest over in the innings so far. Hammered away for 6. There was an element of brutality about that shot. That ball essentially is one that sits up and begs to be whacked. If you are Rit Hinge, you're going to have to be much fuller than that. That was a short ball and it bounced up to maybe waist height. That in no way would present any sort of a threat to Sujit Nayak. And he easily puts it away for 6. His first 6, the 5th 6 of the innings. And you know that you'll need to be a lot fuller and a lot straighter than that, Rit Hinge. Similar type of length, but this time there's protection down there in the deep. Remandar does the cleanup work there. So not the best of deliveries, that one from Rit Hinge, but it doesn't hurt him this time. Now Joshua Trump being on strike, who has been there long enough, who knows that the required rate is going in the opposite direction to what he'd like, is at some point going to want to take on these bowlers, and particularly you'd think that he'd fancy himself against Rit Hinge. That's a good delivery. Very full, very straight, pace off. Not a lot to do with that one other than bunt it down the ground. So, yes, it has been not quite as expensive an over as the first one he bowled with Hinge. But for me, that last delivery is more along the type of what he should be bowling as opposed to the shorter ones. Last ball, over number 9. Short of length, and once again into the deep. Remandar, who patrols the boundary lines better than most. 11 runs come from the over, so much more expensive than you'd like, but again, it keeps your team in the range. End of 9, the score is 91 for 3. Back to Zir Shazad to start. Over number 10. Too wide, too short. 4 runs to deep point. So Sujit Nayak has come in. He's gotten the memo. The idea is to score runs as quickly as possible. He's doing exactly that. 14 from 7 after that boundary. Joshua Trump, who still has not, in my mind, gotten into overdrive just yet. That's a good looking shot, but I think you'll agree that that ball is just a little too wide. Taking a look at the overall conditions under which we're playing here. In fact, just one more look at that wide delivery, just well wide of the crease, and wanting to make sure that he gets something on it other than that type of a delivery. That ball is just too wide to trouble any top order batter. And then certainly in a situation where they're looking for quick runs, the idea is to try to keep them quiet. Slower through the air. That's a better delivery. Much better delivery, actually. Worked into the leg side for a single, but that's more what you're looking for from Zir Shazad. So he has been successful. Certainly took a wicket. The big wicket of Arnav Jam. But this pair is now trying to build something. 18 runs is what the partnership is worth. Joshua Trump pulling it into the deep. Protection is there. So your partnership being worth 18. 18 doesn't sound like it threatens a whole lot, but the idea is to push on from where you are right now. And to the extent that you can take stock of where you are at the 10 over mark, and that's 3 delivers away. 128 is what you need in the next 63 balls, so it is a mammoth hill to climb. But maybe you sort of take a mental refresh, if you will, at the end of 10, and then see how you can go about chasing the runs in the last half of this innings. Oh my goodness, Joshua Trump goes running down the track and really would prefer to not be run out the way that his twin brother was earlier. Down to the last 62 balls. The last 5 overs have yielded 51 runs. Your required rate is continuing to climb. For the most part, the bowlers have been very good. Look at that good piece of fielding in the covers, being backed up by the fielding and by the fielders. And when you are essentially at this stage, boy, it's no longer a question about run rates. Now it's about whether or not I can try to win this game. Played down the ground, a single. 8 runs coming from over number 10 halfway through the innings. The score is 99. They need 126 more in the next 60 balls. 99 for 3. Well, this matchup would have been played a number of times over the years in backyards from South Africa to Austin, Texas, under the watchful eyes of Father Brett and Mother Candace. This is Matthew versus Joshua, Trump to Trump. Oh, in the air. Did he take his brother's wickets? No, he did not. Should have knocked me coming in off the ropes. Couldn't quite get there. In fact, that's Rit Hinger coming off the ropes. My apologies. But Matthew Trump with that smile. And this will come up again in conversation later over dinner. You would think almost got his brother's wicket from the first ball of over number 11. That single bringing up the 100, by the way. Joshua Trump, 11 from 14. Sujit Nayak, 16 from 9. And where you are now, 125 runs is the deficit. But you do have a pair at the wickets. Even though Joshua Trump has not done much yet, 11 from 14. You're expecting for him to push on from here. Worked away into the deep here, Sujit Nayak, and he will get just a single down to Kartik Gatipale. So things you would think will be getting interesting, and this over will feature that little bit of byplay. You absolutely know that each brother wants to get the best of the other. And I'm looking for Joshua Trump to look to go big here. Leg by.
Oh.
Direct hit. Did he get that direct hit? Of course, with the bails off, it can be sometimes hard to tell. But they do steal the leg by. I think they signaled it. Oh, interesting. The throw came in and actually deflected off of the bat. It looks like off of Joshua Trump's bat.
Is that obstruction?
It is absolutely not obstruction. His bat was, or his head is looking straight down the pitch, and that under no circumstances would that be given as obstruction. Stroked into the extra cover area. 4 straight singles. So good over on the way here for Matthew Trump, as we are joined once again by the great Manali Patel. Manali, hopefully you feel good and refreshed at this stage?
Gotta love food, right? Just gives you energy. You feel great again. Pretty good sandwich.
Breaking news, food is good.
Keep forgetting I'm in America.
Oh, tell you what, he'll get a couple of runs, but look at this. Run out opportunity, but he just does get over the line in time. So he's flirting Joshua Trump a couple of times with being dismissed by his brother here. That's not too far away from the field at backward point.
Just a quick chat about where his foot is landing with the umpire, and I'm really curious as to what the umpire is trying to say, because I don't think he's actually following through in that danger area.
I want to take a look at that again, because that certainly would be interesting to see. Get a couple of runs here. One ball to go over number 11, but interesting that you picked that up. I missed it live when the umpire was chatting to him. Maybe we get the chance to go back and take a look at that. But I think you're right. His follow through is pretty standard, goes off of the pitch and does not come down into the danger area. So not sure what the issue would be there. Down the ground, single.
11 overs gone. It's 106 for 3. And over is apparently not done yet.
I have end of it. Short delivery. And it's going to be signaled as a wide. Number one, there is an extra ball that's now going to be bowled because of that being a wide, but I have it as the end of the over, as does the official score. So
2 extra deliveries now.
that's what it appears. And of course, signal coming in from umpire Ravi Kanani that there is that one for the over, one bouncer for the over. But this feels like it's going to be another bonus ball. Zips past the outside edge. The bonus ball does not hurt. End of over number 11, 107 for 3. So the third member, Manali Patel, of our commentary team seems to have seen things differently from the way I did. He says he changed course to run in front of the wickets. It's 100% obstruction, but nobody appealed, so not out. I won't throw him under the bus by saying who just texted that to me, but they saw it differently from the way we did. We thought it was not. In fact, I was very emphatic. I did not think it was obstruction. That third member of the commentary team disagrees with me. Your thoughts, Monali Patel,
On the game?
on that actual play?
He's picked this up, and he's picked it up and put it a long way over the fence. It's going to be 6 runs from Joshua Trump.
You've heard me say before that Joshua Trump playing the elevated extra cover drive is the favorite shot that I like to see him play. Look at this. He plays that beautifully. He has shots all around the ground, but to me, this is his best shot and its best scoring opportunity facing against the leg spinner. Leg spinner turning the stock ball away from the right-handed batting Joshua Trump. So that, to me, is going to be a shot that will yield much reward for him.
Where's this game going?
Oh, as of right now, you know I love this stuff. Score is 113. Runs needed. Runs needed 112. So they're like right at the halfway point.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, because you like numbers, 113 is what they're at, and 11.3 overs, which is also 113.
Ah, uh-huh.
Never mind, I guess. You're not as much of a numbers nerd as I thought you were.
Well, I mean, that's like way off. The bigger issue for me was they were right at the halfway point. 113 runs scored, 112 needed. So that right at the midpoint of their chase. Now, the midpoint of their chase with a single, in fact, the dot ball here, you're a long way away. Somehow, can you manufacture a way to score another 112 in the next 49 balls?
Up and over. Not quite enough legs to get it in the gap and to the rope. 12 overs gone. It's 115 for 3. Trying to keep close to that required run rate. Around just shy of that 10 runs and over mark. They do need to get a couple of big overs in here pretty quickly just to try and bring that pressure down a bit. Bring that required run rate down a little bit.
So there's a few guesses in the social media channels. Praveen Gowda thinks 190 is where they'll end up. 193 is another guess. Another one is 172.
Thinking now it's going to be about 167.
167 is what you're guessing. Okay. Okay, so on here, we're not just guessing, they're apparently betting. So I'm staying far away from that conversation and going back to Matthew Trump for his second over to his brother.
Gives himself some room, and this is through the offside. Coming back for 2 quick runs. You know, mine is just a calculated guess based on the proceedings so far.
What was your number?
167.
That sounds like it's very different from the number that you said at the halfway stage.
Yeah, but halfway stage, you haven't really seen how it's progressing. 167 for 7.
For 7. So not only are you predicting the score, you're also predicting the number of wickets.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's yours?
146.
146. That's really close to where we are at right now. A lot of things would have to go wrong for them to finish at 146.
All right. That was actually tongue in cheek.
I hope so.
I'm going to go 172.
Rotating the strike well here, these two. I guess you got to keep taking away and try and get as close as you can. Bring it down to the wire of the game.
So Manali. Oh, what a grab that is. That is a spectacular catch. Should not be a short extra cover. His brother dismisses him. Joshua Trump will not be happy with that. Bigger picture there. A big bat is back in the pavilion. 119 for 4.
That's going to hurt this chase quite a bit for the St. Louis Americans. Looking for that big flashing drive to the offside. Was hoping to actually get under it and get a bit more elevation. In the end, just manages to find the fielder. It's 119 for 4. As Matthew Trump wins that contest between Matthew and Joshua Trump.
Maybe if I can get either Candace Trump or Brett Trump to message me and let me know which one they feel happier about or happier for when Matthew dismisses Joshua. Who do you root for? Exactly how do you handle your emotions under that situation? I'd love to hear. By the way, it's going to be very early. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying. Avoid?
Just avoid it. Let the two brothers sort it out.
Okay, so by the way, just reading through the comments, apparently I'm the old man and you're the young lady. Are we renaming ourselves?
Sounds perfectly appropriate to me.
So at the start of the innings, we're going to be, well, this is the old man talking. Joined here by the young lady. Young lady, how are you?
Even better now. Ronak Sharma, new man out of the middle, looking to get off the mark. And yeah, not good communication. Sujit Nayak is not happy. Ronak Sharma is not happy. I don't think that was a single. It's going to be a dot in the end.
Let's take a look at what happens here. Clean pickup by Shuja Nakvi, and he's gone for all money. Oh, not even in the same shot. Sujit Nayak might want to consider himself lucky there. Successful over here for Matthew Trump. 1 ball remaining.
Guided into the offside. Should just be the 2 runs. Decent over from Matthew Trump. 13 overs gone. It's 121 for 4.
Decent over. He conceded 6 runs and he took a wicket. I think you can use it. It's an I'd have said excellent. Decent says, yeah, he's keeping it under the required rates.
Listen, Brian.
He took a wicket.
I'm not an easy person to please. Standards are important.
What standard did he fall short of in an over where he bowled, got rid of his brother, and only conceded 6 runs?
Maybe 2 less runs. I would have said excellent over.
Good grief. 104 is what you need the rest of the way from the next 42 balls. What's your real name, old man? I'll tell you what, I'll answer that question when you address me by something other than old man. Thank you very much.
He's trying to address you by your name. Brian Walters, that's his name. Brian Walters.
Oh, goodness. How much is on the shoulders of Sujit Nayak here?
Quick throwback and a single to start the over.
It feels like if it's not all on the shoulders of Sujit Nayak, it may be almost all on the shoulders of Sujit Nayak, because the run rate is now accelerating. After that single, it is now over 15 runs and over required. And so obviously each time that you create a single, it makes the required rate go up.
Just want to see if we can get another replay on that single. Because you've got Sujit Nayak, who realized that there was a potential of maybe turning around, coming back for another run, because he had completed and was looking for that second. Ronak Sharma, on the other hand, completely unaware, jogging to the other side, not looking as to where the ball is and where the fielders are. For your youngster watching this, match awareness is very, very important.
Allow me also to highlight the score is 1-2-3 for 4. 1-2-3 4. By the way, it's Ali Sheikh into the attack. Never called his name. In fact, we have not called his name ever since he left the crease batting earlier. I'll tell you what, this commentary section in the YouTube chat is just making me laugh. Okay, so I've been called old man. I've been called comedian. What else? What other names are being thrown around? Ooh, oh, this is a good one. What is the age of the beautiful lady?
Younger than Brian. One delivery to come in the over. Been a tidy one, and it's going to finish with a dot. Excellent work here by Ali Sheikh. 14 overs gone. It's 124 for 4.
We should have been doing this all along. Let's make it more fun.
It's always nice interacting with the people watching, right? Just it helps them stay in the game along with us, and it just helps us understand what perspective they're watching the game from. So thank you for those of you joining the coverage. We do appreciate it. We hope that you are enjoying the coverage of the game.
A nice clean 101 runs needed in the next 6 overs. Is it doable? Absolutely doable. Is it likely? Probably not likely, but if you have Sujit Nayak, who Hassan on commentary thinks that is a big hitter, these comments are just absolutely brilliant. So, just in theory, Miss Patel, if one were to construct a scenario where this becomes a closer game than it is right now, what would it look like?
Well, you need a partnership. And at the moment, oh dear, this has been a real loosener. You need a partnership which is not allowed, or it's not been allowed to happen at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Space City Cowboys have picked up 4 wickets. They've picked them up at regular intervals. And at any time that there was a small partnership starting to form, it's been broken. Loose delivery. And he's going to get away with this one. It's just going to be a single. But for this game to get close, that's going to be key. They've got to try and find a partnership to anchor this through. Because every time you lose a wicket, you're going to lose momentum. Then you're rebuilding again.
I think the biggest loss in terms of partnerships was when Joshua Trump got out, because they were working on a really nice partnership. That partnership was worth 41. But that dismissal has essentially put you well on the back foot. Sujit Nayak, 24 from 20. Ronak Sharma just now getting started, 4 from 6. But to your point, when you lose wickets, that momentum goes away. The run rate typically drops. Obviously, the required rate will keep going up.
Unhappy Sujit Nayak. I was hoping that was going to be called wide. That would have been a tight call, though. It's touch and go on that line.
Give the bowlers something every once in a while. Also, bear in mind that he's a left-hander bowling around the wicket, left armour. Mm-hmm. And so when the keeper collects it, it might be outside the line, but it's where it passes the batter is what the umpire is judging.
Just squeezed into the offside, and this is placed better than I thought it was. I'll pick up 2 runs. Had it been timed a little bit better, that would have beaten the fielder in the deep. You didn't tell me what you thought of Karthik Gattapalli's hair.
Again, anybody who has hair is doing better than me, so that's...
Leg side.
Oh.
And it's got the distance as well. Sujit Nayak gets a maximum off of this.
Absolutely brutal strike. Sujit Nayak saw how well he bowled earlier in the game, and now he takes Karthik Gattapalli downtown. Huge hit, and this ball is in the slot. If it's going to be that length, it is going to have to be much more outside the line of off stump. Sujit Nayak wants it exactly there. The comments are killing me. Down the ground again. It's going to be more runs. Oh, good piece of fielding by Azir Shazad. So let me just see if I can get what is being said.
Well, he latched onto that, didn't he? It was absolutely massive.
Yes, it did. So, hey, old man, which other matches are you commentating on?
I think he's talking to you.
Well, he's certainly not talking to you. If you look at all of the matches that are coming up, there will be another match later on this afternoon, right here at pitch number 5 in the Prairie View Cricket Complex. That match will be coming up shortly, and I'll tell you in a few seconds which match that's going to be. Later this afternoon, it will be on field number 5, the Atlanta Fire versus the Bay Blazers. That is going to be a really good game. And I will be covering that game if you'd like to pay attention. Of course, it's also going to be the great Manala Patel, who I am honored to be partnered with. And then join us tomorrow because we have 3 matches. The 2 semifinals in the morning, field number 1 and field number 5, field number 6 respectively. And then the final tomorrow afternoon on field number 5. So that sort of gives you a sense of what the action is going to be for the next several, let's call it the next day and a half or so. In the meantime, Ali Sheikh back into the attack. Conceded a couple of runs from the first ball and then a single from the second. So you're not necessarily comfortable yet, but you're certainly pushing on toward what should be a pretty straightforward victory.
$85 off 27 just seems like a really tall order, doesn't it?
Put it this way: you're past the point where you need to score more than 3 runs off every ball, and so that, needless to say, is extremely difficult. But you didn't like my eating the elephant analogy, so I'll go with a different one. If I'm driving from here to Austin, or if I'm getting from here to Austin, I can either walk or I can drive. Walking is probably not going to have it happen. These guys have a car and they can drive. Is it likely that it will get there? Probably not, but I'll tell you what, they've just gotten a 4 off of Ali Sheikh, and the opportunity is still there. As long as your required rate is less than 36, then it can happen. Is it likely? Probably not, but my goodness, give it the old college try, if you will.
You could always try running to Austin.
I don't even like walking the laps that you make me walk between games.
You haven't walked a single lap with me yet.
No, we did a half a lap.
Oh my gosh, no, he didn't. Giving himself room on this one. Creating that space to be able to swing his arms through. As we see Matthew Trump coming back into the attack. 16 overs gone. It's 146 for 4.
I am now being asked to laugh.
That does not surprise me.
They're literally requesting me laughing. This is hilarious to me. It has to be natural, so it doesn't come by request. But, send me something funny, I'll probably laugh at it. How's that?
So easy to make you laugh, Brian. 4 overs to come in this contest, though. Required run rate just under 20 runs and over.
If I was a girl, I would marry Walt. Okay, so this comment section is getting out of control. Back to the game. Manali Patel, where are we?
I'm really disappointed in Ronak Sharma. He's looking for the wide, and that is definitely not a wide. In fact, it's very well bowled. Just manages to keep it inside that line and wide enough away from that swinging arc of Ronak Sharma. Down the ground. And straight as you like, as this goes for a couple bounces for
150 coming up with that strike too. It is very, very good. Straight down the ground. Always room to score runs down the ground. And tell you what, that's a really attractive shot by Ronak Sharma. Look at this. Matthew Trump will want that one to be slightly shorter in length. Don't want to be in the slot. Either that or all the way up into the block hole. At that length, you can be punched down the ground for 4 like that one was. That's better. Even though it's going to go close to the boundary. It goes for 4. Give credit to the batter there. That is an excellent shot. There's not a lot wrong with that type of delivery in the death. If you had to criticize it, Manali, maybe it's just a little too wide. Maybe you want at that length for it to be much fuller to induce the shot down, to bring long on and long off into play. Yeah, the width there would be the issue for me.
This should be just the single. I was going to ask for a side angle to show you how deep in the crease Ronak Sharma was batting. A lot of batters, especially now with T20 cricket, want to do that so they can try and change the length for themselves to be able to get under the delivery. Brian, stop looking at the comments. Focus on the game.
Just trying to say which ones I can bring up and which ones I absolutely cannot touch.
You guys are distracting Brian. That's going to be short. Oh, no. I am very surprised. I was going to say that's going to be a wide. That's going to be a no ball.
Not wide.
Just couldn't see the other side of the umpire.
Well, it did take a little bit of time to make that call, hence the confusion. But eventually, deciding that it was down the leg side, umpire Ravi Kanani.
Just confusing because he shook his head as well, and I was like, really?
He overturned himself. Great delivery.
Do the fielding by himself as well. And a single.
So you can do much worse than that when the opposition needs 21 runs and over plus. Get it up there, full and straight. That really is all you need. And so Matthew Trump now with 1 ball remaining in his 3rd over. Ostensibly, he'd also bowl over number 19 if need be. This is outstanding.
Low full toss, gets under this one and straight into the hands. Just doesn't manage to get the distance on this. Ronak Sharma's innings of 19 is going to come to an end, and Matthew Trump will pick up his 2nd wicket.
Full and straight is what you need at this stage of the innings. Low full toss, as you said. Sometimes a low full toss can be the hardest deliveries to put away in cricket. Zia Shahzad with a pretty straightforward catch. Not one of the ones that goes swirling high into the air where the wind could be a factor. This one just straight into the hands of Zia Shahzad. And a straightforward catch. 5 wickets down. End of over number 17. Last 3 coming up will be interesting. 68 more needed. 157 for 5. These are just outstanding. If I was a girl. Oh my God. This is just so funny to me.
17 overs, 157 for 5. Needs 68 off 18. Most likely not going to get there. Oh, very, very nearly would have been a cotton bowled. It was absolutely smashed back at the bowler.
Well, if Ali Sheik cannot catch this, it cannot be caught because he, as I've always said, is one of the best fielders in the country.
Heaved into the leg side, just a single.
Look at this replay. Oh my, that was smashed. No, it was to his right side. He's left-handed, so that would have made it slightly more difficult to catch. But I think Ali Sheik himself will tell you that that's something that he would also expect for him to put away.
What was your prediction again?
What did I say? 167, wasn't it?
No, it was mine. 167 for 7 was my
then
prediction.
I'm sure mine was higher because I know I picked a higher number. I think I might have said 174 or something like that. I'm in the game now. I'm in the game.
You're never going to beat me. Not when the prediction was as exact as it was in the first innings.
You know, broken clock is right twice a day.
Through the offside. Great shot from Sujit Nayak. Just throws his hands at this. Had the width on offer and capitalizes with a boundary.
Remember what your guess was?
167.
167. So we're now at 165. So you're about to be out of the game is what we're saying.
You did say 147 at one point.
I was joking, obviously.
Obviously.
And I said it immediately then. My second more real guess, I think I said 174 or something. I don't remember exactly.
I have to say that I am pretty impressed with this batting effort. Yes, it's not quite been at the required run rate. It was always going to be a very steep climb for them to get over the line, chasing over 200 runs. But what they have done well is they've continued to try to attack the bowling as often as they can. And in the end, when we look at the strike rates, into the leg side, and it's a biggie. It's going to go for 6.
What I want you to look at on this replay, look how still his head is, Sujit Nayak, when he plays this shot. There's a tendency sometimes to try to overhit it. Look how still his head is. In fact, it's a no-look 6. He does not even pick his head up to look where the ball went. That is a brutal strike. Needed a whole lot more of this. It won't make a big difference as it relates to this game. But my goodness, this is a really good shot from Sujit Nayak.
18 overs gone. It's 172 for 5. Two overs to go. Matthew Trump will come back to finish his spell. 3 overs, 24 for 2 so far. Picked up the wicket of his brother as well.
Real bowled well. 8 and over is his economy rate. By the way, just to answer your question, learned by Raza 143. Walter, have you ever played cricket ever? Very straight. Glance down the leg side for 4, I believe. Yes, does have the legs. Not at a very high level, sir. I've played club cricket. Grew up in Jamaica playing cricket, and then played club cricket here in Texas. But that's the extent of my playing career, for whatever that's worth.
Just missing his line here.
Yep.
Matthew Trump, 2 straight, helped along the way for 4 more.
Now, Monali Patel, on the other hand, has represented Canada for how many years? 15 years? Playing at the highest level possible. So that's who you should be talking to.
Looking for the leg before, and it was well outside the line here.
Oh, comfortably. That would have been what had that not been played. It would have been a wide down the leg side. So no question that that's not an LBW. But once again, the scoop shot, as you see in the replay, impact well outside the line of leg stump. Obviously, if the ball impacts you outside the line of leg stump or pitches outside the line of leg stump, by definition, you cannot be given LBW.
And that is going to be wide. In fact, it's going to be 2 wides.
Well, Matthew Trump will want to just clean up that little bit of, let's call it, indiscipline. Bowled very well so far. And again, in the context of this game, his spell is always going to be an important one. But he'll just want to get through these next, 4 deliveries without much more damage.
Better delivery this. I just managed to get a single off of it. Again, 9 deliveries to come in this contest, and not going to be able to get to that 45 more runs needed. But a decent effort nonetheless. Three deliveries to come.
For what it's worth, 4 runs adrift.
Mathematically possible.
Absolutely mathematically possible. Mathematically, you could do it with balls to spare.
How glorious is that? Won't get to the boundary, but just holds the shape so well.
Yep. So now look toward benefits or positives coming out of this match. Sujit Nayak has batted really well. I won't say what he's on. He bowled excellently. Ryan Taj was a revelation with the ball. And then you did have some portions of this innings where they were looking to get something toward building, let's say, the momentum needed to overhaul this total. You're going to fall short ultimately, but I think it's a good effort nonetheless.
Goes leg side, follows it leg side, and this has been put down. Should have been taken.
50 for Sujit Nayak, and I was so sure that I had jinxed him, even though I didn't actually say it. But that catch should have been taken. Remandar is a great fielder, and he ordinarily takes that.
Matthew Trump has just missed out on his 3rd wicket.
Yeah, that will irritate Matthew Trump.
Slow delivery, 2 straight, and misses out here Raghav Satish. It's a single to end the over.
Take a look at this again. Oh, he really just didn't judge it very well, did he? He went down probably a yard too early. So coming in another step, and you probably take that knee height and ends up having to reach for it there in the end. So at the end of the day, not the best of fielding by a man who's a really good fielder ordinarily, Remandar. But in the context of this game, doesn't make a very big difference. It is now mathematically impossible without the help of extras, meaning no balls or wides, to win this match. So this will be a really straightforward victory in the end for the Space City Cowboys.
Six legal deliveries to wrap this game up, and for the Space City Cowboys to be able to celebrate a very good win.
Whoa.
Moving inside the line of the ball, looking to clear Matthew Trump in the deep. Instead, he's going to find the safe pair of hands of Matthew Trump. Raghav Satish is going to have to walk back. That's wicket number 6.
Tell you what, off the bat, I thought it had potential. But Matthew Trump is a great fielder, regardless of where on the field he is. And taking that catch probably about a yard or so inside of the rope at deep mid-wicket. So he did well enough while he was there, the batter. But once he has found the middle of the bat there, Matthew Trump is not going to miss out on those catches. So that is wicket number wicket number 6. And it's all over but the shouting, as they say. Yuvan Vinod will be the new batter, joining Sujit Nayak. In the old days, they would have crossed and Sujit Nayak would have been on strike, but that regulation was changed a year or so ago, 2 years or so ago. So we'll see whether or not Yuvan Vinod can get something in the run column for his name or under his name.
Some really bright pads, eh?
Oh, jeez. Need my sunglasses.
Thick outside edge. Unlucky for Shuja Nakvi, as this is going to run away to the boundary for 4 runs.
Shuja Nakvi, that will look worse on the scorecard against the bowler's name than it did in real time, because that's a genuine outside edge in a different format, in a different stage of the game that goes straight to first slip at chest height. See where this ball goes, right there. That would have gone straight into the first slip. Reverse cupped hands. Unfortunately, for Shuja Nakvi, goes away for a boundary. But again, in the context of this game, not very consequential.
Swing and a miss. Those colors kind of remind me of a parrot, with the lime green and the pinks and the purples and the blues.
Oh, you're talking my language when you start talking about birds. So be careful bringing up birds, because this whole conversation will go in a different direction.
Does it not remind you of a parrot, though? A green parrot?
I'd say parakeet, but yes. Uppercut. Didn't expect to see one of those. He's having fun these last couple of balls that he's in here. Yuvan Vinod. So 2 balls remaining in the innings, 192 on the board. By the way, both of us lost horribly in our predictions, but I came closer than you did. Shuja Nakvi going short. Yuvan Vinod likes the fact that that ball was more outside the line of off stump that allowed the uppercut. Skied, who wants it? Oh, what a clean catch that one is. Expertly done. Yandev Chauhan with the pretty straightforward catch. I say straightforward. Those are not always easy, especially in a scenario where the wind is blowing a little bit. But he judges it really well. Judges it to perfection and secures it. 2nd wicket in the over. And look at that ball. Skied in the air, but very, very straightforward catch taken by Yandev Chauhan. 192 for 7. And with 1 ball remaining, it'd be hilarious if the umpire timed him out and then that's the end of the game.
It is taking a while here, though, isn't it? For this last wicket, last batter to walk in. I say last batter purely because there's 1 delivery left.
Sure.
Joshua Kind walking in, as you'll be seeing him on your screen very shortly.
I think Joshua Kind had probably taken off his stuff and starting to go into the casuals until he realized, oh my goodness, I have to put all of this stuff on and walk back out there for all of 1 ball. So you face this 1 ball. If you're Joshua Trump, it's going to be the last bit of action on the day for you on a cricket field. Are you just going forward defensive, or are you looking to swing and find Highway 290?
Never go down without swinging.
Scoop shot, of course. The scoop shot was on. Not able to get anything on it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the game. A victory for the Space City Cowboys by the margin of 32 runs. Scorecard will tell the story, because I think you gave it a good effort with the bat. Did not get overawed by the moment. I think they would have wanted to get a bit better start from the top. Lahiri Malanta, 26 from 14. Sohan Bhatia, 11 from 13. Good numbers in the middle order. Everybody in the middle order got to double figures. Joshua Trump, Arnav Jam, Sujit Dayat top scoring with 50. Then Ronak Sharma contributing toward the end, as did Raghav Satish. But just really, this hill just got too steep to climb. And the bowlers, well, they did what they needed to do, didn't they, Monali?
Absolutely did. Picked up wickets in regular intervals, and given the fact that it was a high scoring affair, the economy rates aren't too bad either. 3 wickets to Shuja Nakvi, 2 to Matthew Trump, and a wicket each to Karthik Attapalli and Zia Shahzad. Limiting to 192 for 7. Space City Cowboys were fairly convincing in this game with both bat and ball.
Convincing indeed. And look, you get to the point where you have such a dominant performance. I think we'll see just a few highlights now. For the most part, you wanted to get off to a fast start. And you saw a little bit of fast start from the top. Opening partnership worth 28. But wickets taken in regularity by the top order, or by the opening bowlers rather. And this was a miss that I think Zia Shahzad will tell you that he should have taken, but this is a straightforward catch. That breaks the opening partnership. And then, even though you did have double figure partnerships down the lineup, just really not a whole lot that developed. A couple of good scoring areas there. Lahiri Malanta taking advantage of some loose bowling in some instances, but good catch there by Calvin Savage. And even though you did have runs scored all around the ground and a couple of big shots down the ground, ultimately the hill to climb was just too steep. Now, Rittinge will want to have had a better over than the first one that he bowled. Came back on and bowled well. Zia Shahzad with the leg spin got a couple of wickets. And then you saw in many instances where past a certain point they were just playing for pride, because they were never going to get to that target. The required rate just kept going up and up. That was a stunning catch taken by Shuja Nakvi to get rid of Joshua Trump. And then a couple of lusty blows toward the back end of the innings. Saw that Sujit Nayak did really well in that regard. But for the most part, as I said, just not going to be enough firepower to overhaul what was really a very imposing total. This, to me, is a catch that just essentially seals it. And then a good-looking shot right here. You'd think that this should have been taken. The drop at deep mid-wicket was the reason why Sujit Nayak got to his 50, but he won't mind that at all. And then on the unbalance, the way that this match developed, the intrigue was taken out of it a very long time ago. Matthew Trump with a straightforward catch there. A couple of flashing boundaries in that last over. And I think that the batters will be happy that they got something against their name. But for the most part, again, this match, very straightforward victory for the Space City Cowboys. So, join us later on this afternoon. As I said, it will be the Atlanta Fire against the Bay Blazers. 2:30 local time is when you'll see that. Join us then. See you soon.